They've run 19 laps now behind the pace car under the green and yellow. The track could be slippery. The drivers will have to be careful. Yet it's Darlington. They've got to go. Sterling Marlin and Mark Martin leading them down for the start. The fans on their feet. Here we go. Together.
And an outside line. Mark Martin took the lead down in 1 and 2.
And Mark Martin evens up the bonus points with Sterling Marlin in the championship. He leads.
Ryan Newman alongside Ricky Rudd. Ryan in the 12 car, Rudd 28. Kevin Harvick in 29 just drove the car on the apron. Entering turn 3, trying to get alongside Dale Jarrett.
Harvick and Jarrett racing for 13th.
Bill did it the way he was supposed to do it. I mean, Rusty, he backed off, let Bill going down in the corner.
That's right. I mean, just when you're on that outside line, you become a sandwich because that low car is going to drift up the racetrack into you if you stay there. Now, in the Busch race yesterday, we saw a couple guys do it and get away with it, but the more laps on the tires, the harder that's going to be.
Here comes Jimmy Johnson to the inside of Rusty Wallace. That's for 6th place, and he gets it away from him. A little slide job there.
And here comes Matt Kenseth. The 17 car taking a spot away from Rusty Wallace.
And Dale Jr. Not a very productive corner for Rusty there.
Rusty is really struggling with his 2 car early on in the race.
Jeff Burton next behind him in the 99.
Now Jeff's got the position here. As they go down to turn 1, we'll see if Rusty backs off the gas a little bit early. Yep.
And his teammate, Brian Newman, going to take another spot away. So Rusty slipping back here. Took the green flag in 6th, and that's going to put him back to 11th after just a few laps of green flag racing.
And almost 10 miles per hour slower than Mark Martin's speed the last lap.
Martin is the leader. Sterling Marlin is 2nd. Jeff Gordon is 3rd. Here's the race for 4th. Bill Elliott going to take it away from Tony Stewart. Elliott in the 9.
Tony Stewart in that 20 car had a heartbreak here in the spring. Was leading the race with just a few laps to go. A car spun in front of him coming off turn 2 and nowhere for Tony to go, and bam! Crashed along with several other cars.
Bill Elliott 3 times a winner of the Southern 500. 1985, 1988, 1984. Certainly been a strong summer in Ray Evernham's red car. Jeff Gordon had been putting some pressure on Sterling Marlin for 2nd, but now he's fallen a few lengths off the bumper. Rusty been slipping back some, Bill.
You're right, Alan. 1 word from Rusty Wallace. Tight. 2 words from Jeff Gordon. Real tight. Going the wrong way.
Here comes Dale Jarrett working Rusty Wallace. That's 11th place. And cruises on through. Dale 3 times a Darlington winner, but he's never won the Southern 500. He started the race in 10th place. Lost a few spots in the opening shuffle. And now he's picked his way back up to the 11th spot after making that pass on Rusty Wallace.
We can listen to, and we see the 9 car, Bill Elliott just goes by Jeff Gordon, moves into the 3rd spot.
And Dale Jr. at 7th place takes it from Matt Kenseth. Jeff Burton followed him through. Burton started back in 13th place. He's running 9th, trying to get 8th. Jeremy Shepard that you caught on pit road there. That's who you were looking for, right?
Yes, and that was.
So we finally gotten it going at full speed. Couple of hours late. Rain still a threat, but we are at full speed racing at Darlington in the 53rd Mountain Dew Southern 500. Mark Martin leads. Miles.
Eerie.
Here's our Little Debbie trivia quiz today here at Darlington in the Southern 500. Who was the last driver to win both Darlington races and the Winston Cup Championship in the same year? What do you think?
Well, Dale Jarrett has never won the Southern 500. I heard us say that, so it wouldn't be him. Bobby Labonte, I don't think he was him. Maybe Jeff Gordon?
I was going to say, darn it, I wish I would have said that.
Come on, why don't you jump in there?
And that's our Little Debbie trivia quiz. Dale Earnhardt, 1990. New second place runner Bill Elliott just slipped by Sterling Marlin. Now sets off in pursuit of Mark Martin, and I'd put the over-under at about 3 laps before Mark gives way.
Did you see that 9 car go through the corner and in the middle of the corner down in 3 or 4 just a moment ago?
You know, we talk about tire management or how you can't manage tires, but really the best way to manage tires, BP, is have a car that's 6 as good as that 9 car is right now. They must have a great body on that thing because it looks pretty good.
Look at the speed drop off as we put laps on this set of tires.
10 miles per hour from the fastest lap, which had to be the first lap or the second lap that he ran under the green flag.
And that's the leader. Imagine some of the guys struggling back in traffic.
Hey, Matt, those guys in the 9 pit pretty happy?
Yes, Benny, they sure are, as Bill Elliott continues to reel in the 6-car Mark Martin. You were talking about his race car. The car only has 1 star. Qualified and finished second at Dover back in June. Mike Ford told me this team has a trend. They practice well here at Darlington, but then they struggle in the race until about the last run, and then they tweak it enough to have a decent day. They practice well this weekend, but they're not sure about this race car over long runs because every time during happy hour they got on a long run, the caution came out. So that's the one big question mark going into today's race. Right now, that 9 car is looking pretty stout.
Jeff Gordon is dropping back. Jimmy Johnson has gone by him and put Jeff Gordon back to the 5th spot. And here comes Junior trying to take that away. Left front,
get the fender off of it.
Left front tire.
Don't worry. Try to bring it on in, Don.
He's trying, but he's got problems.
And it looks like that the fender, the debris that the tire has knocked off, is still attached to the car. See, that part of that fender, I think, is still attached. I doubt if there's any debris on the racetrack. Hopefully there isn't.
Let's go back to that race for 5th place. Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Jeff Burton closing in there, too, in the 99.
Oh, look at Junior go flying through the middle of the corner.
Got him, turn 2.
Yep, that gives Jeff Burton a pretty good run on Jeff Gordon there. Because Jeff had to crack out of the gas just a little bit there.
Here he comes.
Just enough.
So Gordon is slipping back. That's going to put him to 7th. Tony Stewart is falling back to 12th. Rusty Wallace to 13th.
And Ryan Newman just blows by Jeff Gordon.
Benny, where'd you finish here the first Winston Cup race you ran? Do you remember?
No.
Ryan Newman's first Winston Cup race here, he finished 5th.
That's not bad. What's going on down there with the 26? What happened to that tire, Dave? Do they know?
No, they don't know yet, Benny. He did come in here, though, after not tearing it up too bad. Running slowly around the track, he was able to save most of that front left quarter, but they did tear away the offending fender part.
Dave, were they able to change the right sides while he was in there?
They did change right side tires and left sides, Benny.
Good boy. That's good.
Now he's going to need all the help he can get with that big hole in that left front fender right now. It's not going to be too fun a day for Todd Bodine.
Todd right now 3 laps down and losing ground as he tries to get back up to speed before the leaders come by him again. Dale Jr. been on the move early. Marty?
He's doing a great job being very patient. He said nothing on the radio. Ty Norris, the spotter, just keeps preaching race the racetrack, which all these drivers hear all day long. Now, he's been very proper all day long. If you were with us when Benny talked to him on the race laps, he was very nice to Benny. To his crew, he was saying, yes, sir, no, sir. And I said, what's up with him? I asked Tony Eury Jr. that. He said, I think he's nervous today. I said, nervous? Are you serious? He said, yeah, he really wants to do well here, and he knows this is one of the tracks before this year that he was not very good at it. Finished 4th here in the spring, and they
Well, Jeff Burton's having a marvelous run here, very similar to what he did yesterday in the Busch race, although yesterday he started much further back than 13th, has been marching forward, has had virtually no problems on the track, but he's also benefiting from a number of guys in front of him who have been talking about being very, very tight and the adjustments they're going to make. But Burton's car, no problems, and fast and forward so far.
Yeah, we'll classify that as a mark.
It's a mark.
Dale Jr. right now running in 5th. Jeff Burton right behind him in 6th. Ryan Newman is in 7th. Jeff Gordon just got passed by Dale Jarrett. So DJ up to 8th and Gordon back to 9th. Here they come into the picture.
And as you see on top of the screen, it says lap 45. But you got to remember the first 18, 19 laps were run under the caution flag as Elliott challenges Martin for the lead. And see you, Martin.
Third driver to lead. Bill Elliott is out in front. How about that 9 car, Matt?
Alan, about a lap and a half ago, Bill Elliott came on the radio, said my car is running very good behind Mark Martin. Mike Ford said, well, that's good. Let's check out and see how it runs in front of Mark Martin. Bill said 10-4.
Isn't that nice to be able to do that?
Yeah, it is. And Sterling's hanging there right to it. And as we heard from Sterling, his car is very consistent on the long run. So he said he didn't have a lot of speed right at the first, but his car was consistent. So we'll see if this pays off for him.
Bill Elliott, the third leader of the Mountain Dew Southern 500. Sterling Marlin led the first 19 laps. Then Mark Martin paced 25 circuits. Now it is Elliott out in front. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. This race, Jeff Burton and Jeff Gordon fighting for $1 million bonus and the Southern 500 win. Traded some sheet metal on the final lap. Gordon won out, took the big bucks. What a great day that was. Wrangler 5-star finishes, and we'll hope for another 5-star one here today when it's time to wave the checkered flag in the Mountain Dew Southern 500. Bill Elliott, third driver to lead, has put a pretty good gap on the new second-place runner. Sterling Marlin has gotten by Mark Martin, and now here comes Jimmy Johnson.
I tell you, this 48 car of Johnson's, this Lowe's car, just might be the fastest of the top 3 right now. We'll have to check that out. All right, next time by, we'll check them at the line and see, because it looks like traffic is not going to be a problem. Well, it might have been for Bill Elliott that time.
Elliott just overtaking Todd Bodine and Tony Raines to put them a lap down. Johnson's in a little bit of clear racetrack. Boy, some guys would really like to see a caution right now.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Mike Wallace for one of them. Johnny Benson right there in front of the leader.
As long as it isn't them. Every time that I drove and I said, please, I need a caution flag so badly, I was usually it. What happened to the 48 car?
Second fastest.
That's not bad.
How about Ricky Craven?
All right, Ricky Craven. But as they start running across this traffic, you can lose 2 or 3 miles per hour per lap just trying to pass another car, like Bill Elliott trying to pass Mike Wallace.
What a great drive Mike had at Bristol last weekend. Got a top 10 finish in A.J. Foyt's car. He's sliding around right now, though. And about to slide back a lap. By the way, Morgan Shepherd has gone to the garage. His car is retired. Engine failure. He will finish 43rd. As we look down on Darlington Raceway, courtesy of the U.S. Army, an Army of one.
That's too bad because he traded a car for that engine, remember? What kind of car was it he traded?
A 57...
I don't remember what it was. It was a nice car, though.
Yes, an old, nice car.
Yeah.
Restored car.
Johnny Benson lapped now by these leaders, and here comes Jimmy Johnson. The rally flag is still out in the 48 pit. This is second place he's working on here with Sterling Marlin.
And there comes Junior by Mark Martin. Taking over the 4th spot.
Bringing a posse with him. Jeff Burton, Ryan Newman, Dale Jarrett all bunched up there. It's got to be not fun if you're in that 10 car right now and you're just 57 laps into this thing and you've gone a lap down.
Pretty much going to be a long day.
Yeah. Good day so far for Bill Elliott. He's out in front. He's led the last 12 laps of the Mountain Dew Southern 500 at Darlington. He's about to complete lap number 61 of 367. We should see some green flag pit stops here in just a little bit.
Yeah, I would think so. I think most of these guys are screaming for tires and adjustment right now.
Remember, they ran the first 20 laps of this race behind the pace car under the green and caution, so that pit window might be sliding back just a little bit. Let's make our singular call to the pits and dial up one Bill Weber.
We're going to take it through the pits, give you an update on how the guys in the top 10 are running, give you an update on their conditions and exactly what we expect on their pit stop. So let's start with Bill Elliott. Matt?
Bill Elliott chasing his 6th career Darlington victory, which will make him sole ownership as the winningest active driver here. Currently, the car is a little loose all the way through the corner. Reported that on lap 50. Right now, as crew chief Mike Ford reminded him, just raced the 44th driver out there, the racetrack. Bill.
Jimmy Johnson in the 48 car is a little tight in and a little loose off, but when he gets in the gas, he loves the way his car is handling. So it's a great start at Darlington for the 2nd straight race for this kid. As for the point leader, Sterling Marlin, his car has started to get a little loose, and the longer they run, strangely enough, the looser it gets. So they're going to try wedge and air pressure on the 40 car of Sterling Marlin. Jeff Burton continues his march forward. Remember the great run yesterday? Another good run today. Started 13th, has moved his way up to the 4th position, chasing the leader, Bill Elliott. So Jeff Burton talking to his crew chief right now, Frank Stoddard, about a possible track bar adjustment because he's just a little loose off. Marty?
Well, Dell Jr. just lost to 5th position, but he's still pretty happy with the car. He said a little bit free off, but then he says not too bad. He's pretty happy. They're about 10 laps from their pit stop, and 2 straight top 10s for these guys. They've moved from 17th to 15th in the points, Bill.
It's going to be a pound of air out of both front tires for Ryan Newman. His car just a little tick tight, according to his crew chief, Matt Borland, so they'll make an air pressure adjustment. Marty.
Ricky Craven has marched from 16th up to the 7th position. They said the car was good, and it's getting better the longer they run. These guys had 3 straight top 10s between May and June, and they haven't had one since. They really need a good run today. Matt?
Marty, the last 11 races here, Dale Jarrett 8 top 5s, but the last 2, a 34th and 40th, trying to get back on his Darlington track right now. The car is tight all the way through the corner. Crew chief Todd Parrott reminding Dale Jarrett, just be smooth and save those tires. We'll fix the tightness. Meanwhile, the 6 car Mark Martin, the 93 winner of the Southern 500, they're already talking about an air pressure adjustment in the right front and also a wedge adjustment, possibly 2 rounds. The car is tight. Marty?
Boy, Jeff Green's had a great run. Started 20th up to the 10th place, Matt. They are sliding the back of the car, but the front's sticking pretty well, and that's a pretty good key here at Darlington. Very happy with the car. Only 1 top 10 in the last 5 races. Another team that could use a good run today, Dave.
Marty, Matt Kenseth needs to pit in about 10 laps. That's their plan anyway. His car is very tight through turns 3 and 4. His crew chief told me this morning that they had a bad test when they came here. This is about where they expected to run. Bill?
Well, Jeff Gordon started 3rd, has fallen out of the top 10 now, currently scored in the 12th position. His car is tight. He's been talking about it basically since the first lap of green flag racing. They're going to make a wedge adjustment and an air pressure adjustment on the 24. Matt?
Bill, if you look at the sky, you can see an opening in the clouds, and that's not what Kevin Harvick wanted to see. He told me this morning he wants an overcast day all day. Right now, his car is extremely tight. They haven't talked about what adjustments to make to the 29 car. Dave?
Kyle Petty having a good run. He has been very quiet on the radio, saying nothing. He did tell his crew before this race started, when it is time to pit, remind me to pit very slowly. Not just because this is a tricky pit road, but because pit road might still be wet. Please remind me. The 18 car of Bobby Labonte right now is a little bit tight getting into the corner, a little bit loose when he steps back on the throttle. He just got passed by Robbie Gordon. They say they're going to make a track bar or a wedge adjustment to fix that next time Bobby comes in. Remember, he won here in 2000. Alan?
Robbie Gordon taking that spot away from Bobby Labonte. That was 15th place. Robbie started in 22nd.
And Rusty Wallace, a 2 car, has fallen all the way back to the 17th position.
I'll tell you, another guy that looks like he struggled a little bit is Tony Stewart. He's back to the 20th position right now.
Guys that have made green flag pit stops already: Mike Wallace, Johnny Benson, Brett Bodine, Jeremy Mayfield, Tony Raines, Jerry Nadeau. And Tony just came back for a pass-through penalty for speeding exiting his pit. Here comes the leader, Bill Elliott.
Also, the second place car of Jimmy Johnson is following Bill Elliott down pit road.
They'll all be in now.
Who got penalized?
Tony Raines, 74.
Tony Raines, okay.
Yeah. Why, did I say something wrong?
I thought you said Tony Stewart.
See John
I'm sorry.
Andretti on pit. And we see the 40 car. Sterling Marlin has taken over the lead. Jeff Burton, 99 in second spot.
Getting a little pressure there. Bill Elliott's in, Matt.
He hits his marks perfectly. No adjustments for Bill Elliott. Remember, we told you his car was a little bit loose through the corners, but Mike Ford says no adjustments. A 4-tire change of fuel. As Ford and Pullman already going to work, and he is good to go.
Oh, they almost got your money, VP.
Man, they're trying to get my money. 13.3. Weber.
Jimmy Johnson on pit road. Good stop so far. It's 4 tires, air pressure adjustment. He's on his way. This is when the avalanche of cars on pit road will begin.
Yeah, I got Kurt Busch in, Elliott Sadler, Ken Schrader, Ricky Rudd. Matt?
And Kurt Busch already made his way to pit road as a number of other cars are leaving. A 4-tire change. His car was a little bit loose. Thanks with air pressure. Bill.
Jeff Gordon working all the way down to the island on pit road, which is just down by turn 1. Remember, his car has gotten tight ever since we went green flag racing. Air pressure adjustment, wedge adjustment, around to the left side. One last week at Bristol, hoping to go for 2 in a row. Snyder.
Bill, Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s car, we said, was loose. It got looser the longer he ran. It's been a round of wedge in and 4 tires. They had fallen back to 7th after getting up as high as 5th. Dave?
Chassis adjustment just made for Matt Kenseth. Now around to the left side. They've changed the right side tires already. He got a cool drink as well. 4 tires. Matt Kenseth is gone.
About all of the other leaders that had not pitted yet are on pit road now. Sterling Marlin, Jeff Burton, Dale Jarrett, Ricky Craven, they're all coming in. There are Marlin and Burton pitting together. Bill, coming to you.
Now waiting for Sterling Marlin to make the long trip down pit road. Started on the pole, has the number 1 pit stall for the easy out in turn 1. Car's gotten a little bit loose. They're going to make a wedge adjustment. It's going in now in the left-hand side. It'll be 4 tires and all the fuel they can get in there. So Sterling Marlin waited. Everybody else basically on and off of pit road. Marlin gets his 4 tires. Matt.
Bill, Mark Martin is in, and service has already been completed. An air pressure adjustment in the right front, as well as a wedge adjustment. The team wanted him to come in around lap 67. Mark wanted to stay out and stretch the fuel.
And they've got to stay down on the apron of the racetrack until they get to the backstretch before they can blend in with the traffic.
So as they cycle around through the rest of the pit stops, Bill Elliott is going to hold on to the lead. Checking the interval he's got on Jimmy Johnson, it's going to be about 3.7 seconds. So great work by Elliott and his team. Adds, what, about a second onto his gap.
Great pit stop.
I mean, Jimmy Johnson came in and looked to be almost right behind Bill Elliott, just no more than a second behind him, and now he's 3 3/4 seconds. So yes, at least 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, it was about 1.7 seconds the lap before the stop, BP. So great job by Elliott's crew. First round of green flag stops are complete here at Darlington in the Mountain Dew Southern 500. Bill Elliott is the race leader here at Darlington. 53rd Mountain Dew Southern 500. Will it be that car and that driver on the cover? Bill Elliott right now has got a healthy advantage.
Pretty hooked up.
And he's done it before.
Check this out, the difference between the top 2. Bill Elliott, 683 Winston Cup starts. Jimmy Johnson, 27. Bill Elliott, 43 wins. Jimmy Johnson, 2. Bill Elliott has won the Southern 500 3 times. Jimmy Johnson makes his first drive in this classic today. 3.2 seconds between those top 2. Then it's a full 9 seconds back to 3rd place Sterling Marlin. Jeff Burton, Ryan Newman, Dale Jarrett, they make up the top 6.
Yeah, Bill Elliott's got one of those cars, Benny, that if it stays green, he's going to have everybody up to the top 10 lapped.
A lap down. I mean, right now he's working on Elliott Sadler, who's running in the 26th position.
But it's just kind of a continuation for Elliott. I mean, this team the last, what, month and a half, 2 months? Unbelievably impressive.
Yes, they have been very, very good.
You watch how smooth he is. When he comes off the corner, you don't see the car moving around or getting loose like a lot of other guys are. It's just He puts it where he wants it. He almost looks like he's going slow. That's how smooth that car is.
Bill Elliott ended July in victory lane at Pocono, started August in victory lane at the Brickyard 400 in Indianapolis. Kind of had some troubles the last few weeks, 21st, 22nd, and 17th at Watkins Glen, Michigan, and Bristol. But, you know, Michigan, that performance that got him the Golden Benny there with the car jumping out of gear at 190 miles an hour.
That was an awesome job by Bill Elliott.
So Elliott continuing to lead here. He's been out in front since lap 45, except during the exchange of pit stops.
Here comes Jimmy Johnson.
And Bill Elliott right now is kind of being held up by Elliott Sadler and his teammate Jeremy Mayfield, allowing Jimmy Johnson to get a little bit closer. Last time by, 2 1/4 seconds behind.
Mayfield and Sadler are the last cars on the lead lap, so they can't afford to give any ground to Bill.
As a matter of fact, Sadler was able to get by Jeremy Mayfield. There he goes by.
I wonder if they're looking up saying, okay, teammate,
Yeah.
get out of my way, or I mean, if I was Jeremy, I sure wouldn't, because he's got to stay on the lead lap.
That was 5th place changing hands. Dale Jarrett moving up.
And Ryan Newman, wisely, as all people have done, raced the racetrack, especially the first part of the race.
Dale Jarrett's best finish in the Southern 500, a couple of 3rd place runs. Here's a former winner of this race. Bill, Jeff Burton having a solid day.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Kind of vibration, it sounds like.
That's his crew chief, Frank Stoddard, talking to Jeff Burton. And the problem is Burton has a vibration. He felt it as soon as he came off of pit road. They asked the crew if they got all the lug nuts tight. They said yes. Burton speculated it could be a wheel out of balance. Frank Stoddard asked him, is it getting any better? No. Is it staying the same? Yes. But again, I felt it as soon as I left pit road. They're telling him it's up to him if he has to come back in, but he's not very happy right now.
Well, I think he'll stay out there unless if it does get worse, Bill, then it's probably more than a weight. If it just stays consistent, you're right, it's probably a wheel weight. But, I mean, if it gets loose and a vibration really starts happening, that means they left the lug loose and the wheel's coming loose.
How much do points play into a decision like that for the driver? He's 13th in points. He's not going to win the championship this year. Does that ever factor in when you're trying to make a call like that from the cockpit?
I would say no.
I wouldn't think so. I mean, it might, in Sterling Marlin's case or Mark Martin's case, some guys in the top 3 in the points, but in this situation, I wouldn't think so.
He's got a good race car right now. He's running fast.
And the last time by, he was one of the fastest cars on the racetrack.
Jeff Burton running 4th now, 8.2 seconds behind leader Bill Elliott. Dale Earnhardt Jr. taking a spot away from Mark Martin. That was 11th place. And we're just over 100 miles of the 53rd Mountain Dew Southern 500 at Darlington. Bill Elliott is in command. 500 is Southern California's Jimmy Johnson.
He just ran Bill Elliott down. All of a sudden, it looked like Elliott's car slowed dramatically. Johnson comes up, goes down the straightaway, and makes up a car length, and Bill saw him coming, backed off and let him go, as you're supposed to here at Darlington. But now it looks like Bill's car is back running about as good as it did. Matt, what's going on with the 9 car?
Benny back on lap 88. Bill Elliott keyed the mic and told crew chief Mike Ford, the car just doesn't feel right. Something just doesn't feel right about it going down the straightaways. I don't know what it is. Mike asked him, are the gauges all okay? He keyed back and said, they look fine to me right now. And then 2 laps ago, Mike asked him again, how is the car now, Bill? He says, the car doesn't seem to be getting any worse. I just don't know what to tell you.
Okay. Elliott's led 43 laps of the 97 that we've run, but for now he is behind Jimmy Johnson in 2nd spot.
That sounds like a valve spring. You know, when they break one of those springs, the car just doesn't feel right. It doesn't have a miss, but it just doesn't feel right.
Here's 5th place. Dale Jarrett in the 88 trying to hold off Ryan Newman in the 12. Jarrett started in 10th place. Newman started in 12th.
Well, so much for trying to hold him off.
Yep.
Oh, thank you wave there from Brian. And just behind them, Ricky Craven's starting to creep into that picture also.
Yeah, fast. Like he gained 3 car lengths, 4 car lengths on those guys up in the 3rd and 4th corner. And right in front of Ryan Newman is Ricky Rudd. He's a lap down to these guys, back in the 32nd position. I talked to Michael McSwain this morning, and he said that didn't seem the car was just so-so. Doesn't seem to be getting any better, Dave.
Dave doesn't want to talk.
Now, Ricky's car looks tight. I don't know what it is, but it looks like he's having a hard time keeping grip of the car. The car's really sliding up the racetrack. You listen to it.
Maybe Dave's gone fishing again. I know there's more parts of Wally's race car in the pond out there for him to get.
Hey, Dave, what are they saying about Ricky's car?
Well, they are not fishing, that's for sure, except for a way to make this car better. He lost 9 positions at the start of the race before he ever said anything on the radio. He reported that it was loose. Then he reported that it was so tight that it was actually lifting the front tire, the right front tire, off the ground. So he's not had a very good day at all. They tried to make some adjustments on that last stop. It's gotten a little bit better.
In other words, it pushed so bad he thought that the right front tire wasn't on, or was not going down and gripping the racetrack.
Well, you can watch his hands going to the right as much as this to the left. Yeah, he's having a hard time.
32nd place, 1 lap down for Ricky Rudd. Here's the race for 3rd. 40 car Sterling Marlin, 99 Jeff Burton. At 25 car Joe Nemechek, he's back in 29th place, a lap down.
And these guys are just a little over 3 1/4 seconds behind the leader, Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy Johnson, when he took the lead from Bill Elliott a couple of minutes ago, he intercepted this from his team to him and back.
Good for buddy, doing an awesome job, Jimmy. Just be patient with these lap cars here now. I'm up here working on them. Good for buddy. I believe you got your mojo back. I found my mojo.
Yeah, laying on the backstretch somewhere, because he does have his mojo working today.
First time Jimmy Johnson has ever led here at Darlington. Of course, this is only his 2nd Winston Cup race. Pretty big deal to be leading the Southern 500 in only your 2nd try.
Oh, here comes Musgrave.
Back on the lead lap with that one. Next Saturday night, Winston Cup racing goes to Richmond to the Monte Carlo 400 with the Looney Tunes, and a lot of Winston Cup stars will be driving special Looney Tune character cars as part of their paint schemes. Jimmy Johnson going to be one of them. He'll have Sylvester and Tweety on his car. Jeff Gordon will have Bugs Bunny, and there'll be a lot more. You can get involved early by logging on to Chevy.com or America Online, keyword Monte Carlo, and look for the Pick the Winner Pocket the Car sweepstakes. If you pick the Looney Tunes car with the highest finish next Saturday night, you put yourself in the running to win a new Chevy Monte Carlo SS. A lot of radio traffic back and forth between the NASCAR spotters out in turn 2 and the control tower, whether or not there is debris on the racetrack out there. One of the teams reported seeing something, but from what I am listening in on, it is out of the groove, and so we should stay under the green flag. What is it, Dave?
Alan, Matt Kenseth thought he hit it in turn 2. That's what he reported to his crew, so they watched very closely his car the next couple of laps between his spotter and the guys on pit road, and Matt monitoring the situation. He's back up to speed, but he hit something out there.
Matt Kenseth still running in 13th position on the lead lap, and he's up to speed. Jimmy Johnson, the race leader, 4th different driver to pace the Mountain Dew Southern 500 at Darlington. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. Back at Darlington under caution, debris on the front straightaway has put the pace car out in front of the field and brings all of the leaders to pit road. Got 27 cars on the lead lap in this 53rd running of the Mountain Dew Southern 500. Delayed some 2 hours by rain, but we've been running now almost 150 miles, and Jimmy Johnson leads him in. Marty?
Ricky Craven 7th on pit road. He comes down, he has an open behind him, and he slides into his pit stall. Just a little bit tight for Ricky Craven. Half pound out of the right front. They're very happy, and they're very good on those longer type of runs. Matt?
And
And Martin Bill Elliott comes to a stop. They're going to make a wedge adjustment as Rodney Rhodes goes to work with the wedge wrench. 4 tires and fuel for Bill Elliott. He stops a little short, so he has a good exit, Bill.
They wanted Jimmy Johnson to stop short as well. He did, angled out. Car started off great, gets looser and looser. It's air pressure adjustment to help him in and a track bar adjustment. Left side's going on. The field coming down pit road. Johnson's on his way. Look out for traffic. Dave.
Bill Matt Kenseth came in. His car was extremely tight. They made a wedge and a track bar adjustment, changed 4 tires, filled it full of fuel, sent him on his way.
How about the boys on the 32 car?
Ricky Craven got off pit road first.
How about that?
What a charge he's had today, huh?
Beamer and the boys.
Started 16th. And now he's going to take the lead. Here's that camera at the exit of pit road.
Beat him by a bunch.
There goes Craven. There goes Johnson. Sterling Marlin. I see Bill didn't have a very good pit stop. Jeff Burton.
5.
Dale Jarrett.
There's 6th. 6th for Ryan Newman.
Bill, where are you? Bill. Bill.
That's him right there, I think.
Bill. Man.
7th place there. Way to go, guys. Ricky Craven, the new leader of the Mountain Dew Southern 500. Next weekend, NASCAR on TNT moves to Richmond, Virginia. Friday, it's Bud Pole qualifying at 3 Eastern time, and then we've got the Busch Series race Friday night, 8 Eastern. Saturday night, the Winston Cup action begins at 7 o'clock Eastern time. Chevy Monte Carlo 400 with the Looney Tunes.
Looney Tunes, that's us.
That's a good description for the racing next week, too.
I tell you what, those guys, Mike Beam and his crew, they were just awesome. And yes, when Craven goes by, attaboy, Ricky, we got the lead. Ricky, you guys are #1. Thumbs up.
Craven out in front as the field comes to the restart. Jimmy Johnson is 2nd. Sterling Marlin 3rd. Jeff Burton 4th. And Dale Jarrett is 5th. The rest of the top 10, Ryan Newman, Bill Elliott, Jeff Gordon, Mark Martin, and Robbie Gordon.
We know this 32 car, the Tide Rod, is very good on a long run, but is he good on a short run? Jimmy Johnson is going to find out quickly.
Ricky Craven started on pole in the March race here. And is he going to be able to hold the lead?
Maybe. Maybe.
Craven got swept up in an early wreck when Steve Park tangled trying to lap Stacy Compton. Craven got taken out in that accident, finished 41st. Behind him, it's pretty fast and furious. That traffic all mixed in among the leaders there. It's Jeff Gordon and Bill Elliott for 7th and 8th place.
Bill's able to maintain that position down the straightaway. He got a good run off that high groove.
24 kind of slid around behind him there.
Marty.
Sorry, Benny.
Go right ahead, Alan.
All right, you go ahead, Marty.
Well, I was just going to talk about that spring race for Ricky Craven. That's a very sore subject with this team. They felt like they had a car that could win the race. Like you said, Alan, it did sit on the pole. They've had this date marked on their calendar since March. They feel like they have something to prove here this weekend, and this is the same car that they wrecked in that race here in the spring.
You haven't given Ricky any more poison ivy lately, have you?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, he showed me Friday a big rash on his arm.
Ricky bought some property from Benny, what, a couple months ago?
Yeah, and every time he goes out and mows any grass, he inhales just the fumes off of poison ivy and gets rashes on his arm. That's how allergic he is to it.
Man, I sympathize. All I have to do is look at that stuff and I catch it.
You didn't tell him that when you sold it to him, that was a problem there?
I had to mention it to him.
Okay.
I wonder if Jeff Burton,
Ooh, did he just kiss the wall there, Craven?
well, he might have, but he was close.
That's going to happen here.
Do we have our Darlington stripe on the side of the Tide Ride? Ken Schrader, yellow car in the middle there. He's the first car a lap down in 28th place. And he is fighting hard to try and get back around these leaders. Is that Ricky's radio we just heard?
Thought it was. It sounded like Craven.
Yeah, it's saying we just picked up the old Darlington stripe, I believe.
Hey, Barber, was anything wrong with the 99 car's tires or anything on that last pit stop?
BP, no. Frank Stoddard said they looked at all of them. They were all fine. The weights were fine. Brad Parrott, who crew chiefed yesterday's win, said everything looked okay. So they're happy that the tires are all right, and they're concerned, waiting to see if that vibration is gone.
Right now, he's running, again, very, very fast as he goes by Schrader in the 36 car. He closes up on the back bumper of the 48 of Johnson.
Let's check it out. Well, let's see. Is Jimmy Johnson going to make that move here? No, he's been looking inside. Check it out here. Off of turn 2 a couple of laps ago. Watch the right side of the 32.
Oh, he just kissed that wall, as Ray Melton used to say here, ever so gently.
Yeah, I think he just got the tire on that one. I don't know if he got into the fender. It only counts if you get in the right rear fender, right,
Oh, yeah.
BP?
Oh, yeah, you got to scratch the fender up.
So that's not even an official stripe?
Not official.
Well, not official, no.
You guys are tough. Johnson been looking low here in 3 and 4 the last few laps, but not quite able to make it stick. How about the 48 car, Bill?
Patience is the word that he's getting from Chad Canals. Just be patient. Let him wear his stuff out. And that was right before Craven went up and had his brief encounter with the wall there. But Chad also told Jimmy after that last pit stop that your tire wear is perfect. And Jimmy goes, oh, come on. And Chad goes, I'm not going to kid you. They're worn out. But we were getting close to our pit window anyway. The tire wear is perfect. This car is awesome.
Yeah, they're wore out evenly.
Yeah,
Which made it perfect.
That's exactly right. If all 4 tires were worn evenly,
They wore out very nicely.
Yeah, car's perfect.
Just past 150 miles of the Mountain Dew Southern 500 at Darlington. 2 hours delayed by rain, but underway. Would you believe there's even some blue sky starting to show overhead?
Hi, Jimmy Johnson.
That is after the race leader, Ricky Craven.
Sterling Marlin back lurking on the back bumper of Jimmy Johnson in 4th spot.
Yeah, got those top 4 all together. What's that? Robbie Gordon pick up a stripe, I hear?
Let's see if it qualifies.
Wow, is Jimmy's car is loose all of a sudden.
Very loose.
See what happened to Robbie Gordo here.
Robbie started 22nd. He moved up to 9th, but first,
we're going to check out this battle for the lead between the leader, Ricky Craven, 32, and Jeff Burton in 99.
No, but Sterling did take the spot from Jimmy Johnson.
And here goes Jeff Burton. 1999 Southern 500 winners out in front. Ooh. And he had a nice little wiggle there off of 2 also.
Dale Jarrett coming pretty fast.
Weber, what's going on with the 99? They got to be happy now, huh?
Yeah, they're really happy now leading the race. And Benny, Brad Parrott finished looking at these tires, and what they found out on that last set is that the left front tire was out of balance by 1 ounce. A lot of you drivers can feel 1 ounce.
Of course we can, Bill. It's a silly question.
Well, we're drivers.
You guys all sticking together now, aren't you?
Hey, you know, the drivers also tell some rather tall tales. All right, let's go back and show you Robbie Gordon now that that lead has settled down. Do we have the makings of a Darlington stripe?
Well, let's see.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's the way to do it, Robbie.
That qualifies.
Okay. He's still running 11th on the lead lap.
Yeah, when you see the paint fly off.
How about it, Matt?
Alan, he came on the radio and said, guys, I just lost it, but we're okay. And it just goes along with the fact that Robbie Gordon has a love-hate relationship with Darlington. He loves to hate it because he feels like it hates him. But he tries to go with Dale Jr.'s philosophy. Just keep telling yourself, I love this place. I love this place. I love this place. But it doesn't seem to work. But right now, he seems to like his race car. He told his team, these new tires right after his pit stop make you feel like Superman. Childress said, yeah, but you'll feel like Mickey Mouse in about 30 laps if you don't take care of those tires, Bill.
Well, Matt, Tony Stewart continues to struggle early in this race. He was tight, so they made the adjustments to try and correct that condition. Overdid a little bit. Before the last pit stop, he told the team he was loose, so they added wedge and made another track bar adjustment going back the other way, trying to tighten him up a little bit. So it was tight early for Tony and then loose before the last stop.
You know, these guys ran more laps yesterday in practice than any other team. They ran 138 laps, Benny.
And they were trying desperately. So now we understand they were just desperately trying to find that proper setup, something that Tony liked on this race car. And obviously, they really never found it.
Yeah, by the looks of it.
Stewart started 4th. He's back in 21st place now. There are 27 cars on the lead lap. Tony is 15 1/3 seconds behind leader Jeff Burton.
Ooh, that car is sliding.
Here's 3rd place. Check that, 4th place. Dale Jarrett by Jimmy Johnson. So Jimmy's mojo's left him again.
Yeah, his mojo's gone.
And so's his handle. It's loose off, guys.
Marty, you got something for us?
Well, Dale Jr.'s running in 9th, and a lot of the teams down here, Dale Jr.'s team included, are saying that the racetrack is getting tighter. Now, I find that kind of odd, Benny and Wally, because the sun is coming out, which I think would make the racetrack looser, but Jr.'s not the only driver saying he feels like the racetrack itself is getting tighter.
Well, Marty, normally, I think this place here, whatever your car is doing when the track gets hotter or the sun comes out, it gets worse. And I don't know why but that's normally what happens. If you're tight, sun comes out, it gets worse.
In other words, as the racetrack is getting slicker, then the right front tire is just not gripping. It's sliding across the racetrack, and it's picking up more push.
You almost said slicker.
He did. He almost said it. I'm disappointed he didn't say it.
That's wearing off on me.
Jeff Burton is out in front. 6th different driver to lead the Mountain Dew Southern 500. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. Pumpkin Raceway in South Carolina, 2 hours delayed by rain. We're at lap 141 of 367, and Jeff Burton is the 6th different driver to lead the race.
And you see the sponsorship on his car. If you wonder what it says on the rear quarter panel, rear fender, it says MDA. Each year, Citgo puts that on at Labor Day because of the muscular dystrophy telethon. That's tomorrow, correct?
Right. And Citgo is the biggest corporate sponsor of that. By the way, the uniform and helmet that Jeff is wearing in this race today will be auctioned off to benefit the Muscular Dystrophy Association after the race.
Well, that'd be fantastic, especially if he were to win the Mountain Dew Southern 500.
But he's got a big silver car coming in the mirror fast.
Yeah, that's the bad thing.
Championship leader Sterling Marlin led the first 19 laps of this thing. Then he led a few more during a round of green flag pit stops.
Now, if this thing keeps going a few more laps, he may lead again, because last time by he was about 1/3 of a second faster than Jeff Burton. As a matter of fact, he was about 1/3 of a second faster than anyone.
Yeah. Top 5 finishes in 2 of the last 3 races at Darlington for Sterling Marlin. Speeds at the line. That time Burton got it a little bit. Jeff Gordon showing up. Running back in 8th place. Gordon was struggling a good bit earlier, but now he's chipping his way back up, but he's got to catch these two if he's going to race for the lead. Sterling Marlin chasing Jeff Burton in the Mountain Dew Southern 500 at Darlington. 145.
Darlington, where we have a new leader. The Winston Cup point leader, Sterling Marlin, is now the leader of this race. Just a little over a lap ago, he made the move around Jeff Burton in the 99 car. Looking to the inside, making the move down low, getting back on the gas, and then zipping by on the inside to reclaim the lead. Sterling started on the pole and now leads this race. Now we'll take you through the field and update you on how these cars are handling and what their drivers are saying. Sterling, before the last pit stop, was loose off the exit. They went 1 round down on the track bar, added 4 tires. He radioed him. The car's good. Guess that's how he got to the lead. Jeff Burton's last pit stop, 14.86. Again, they did have a left front wheel that was out of balance. That was the vibration. That has gone. Burton's car's pretty good, and he is trailing Sterling Marlin, currently running second. Matt?
Bill, Dale Jarrett's climbed to the third, but he's still a little over 4 seconds off of Sterling Marlin, but trying to close in. The car still fighting a tight, loose condition. They adjusted with wedge in the last stop, but he said he still can't get it back in underneath him. Marty?
Well, Matt, it was great pit work by Ricky Craven's team. A 13.6-second stop that got him into the lead, and it's a good car that's keeping him in the top 5. He's running 4th right now. He said, I'm going to cool it for a little while. I ran too hard for those first 20 laps. A little bit too tight now for Ricky Craven. Bill?
Ryan Newman continues to run very well. The car is just a little bit loose. He said the balance is good, but the car is just a little bit loose. That's engineer talk for we're doing okay as we close it on halfway here at Darlington. Marty?
Dale Earnhardt Jr. moving up to the field. He started the race too loose. They went too far with the last adjustment. Now he's too tight. They just need to find that middle ground. And the good news is they can make it loose or tight. Either way, they want it, Matt.
Marty Bellelli just climbed up the 6th position. Right before that last stop, he told the team the car still didn't feel right. Now he says the car feels okay. Possibly the tires just weren't matched the way they needed. The buildup just didn't build up. Trouble spin.
Todd Bodine, turn 4. Caution's out. And everybody else is going to get by okay. See who gets a lap back from the leader. Sterling Marlin is on the back straightaway. Mike Wallace.
He's trying, the 14 car, he's trying. But Sterling's from the old school. He's not going to let these guys just get their lap back. Well, okay, Mike gets one back.
Here comes Mike. Ricky Rudd got one too. I think he got it. Yeah. Third caution of the Mountain Dew Southern 500 is out. Lap number 154. Todd Bodine with his second problem of the day. He had a left front tire get cut down early in the race and made a stop on pit road that took most of that fender off the car.
Just like Bristol last week. Had some kind of problem. Some guys made contact with him. He spun, hit the inside wall, and 10 laps later spun again.
And that big hole there in the left front fender is probably about 35–40% of his front downforce is gone.
We're just past 200 miles in the race. Weather no longer appears to be a threat. Skies are actually kind of sunny. Not sure where that came from here around here this weekend. Just joining us, we started about 2 hours late, but we're going strong now and look like we'll run to the full 500-mile finish of this Southern 500. Now, last set of pit stops, Ricky Craven's crew got him the lead with a lightning fast stop. Let's see who gets the job done best this time.
Because every car on the lead lap will make a pit stop, change 4 tires, get fuel. And here they all come. All right, Marty, Ricky's there.
The Tide crew has been outstanding today, VP. 15.5 and 13.6 on their 2 stops. He comes in running 4th, too tight. They take a pound out of the right front tire. They contemplated the wedge adjustment. They will not do that this time. He said, leave the windshield alone. I'm going to save the tear off for later. Matt.
Marty, Dale Jarrett, his pit road in the 3rd position are going to make a track bar adjustment down 1 round. He said the car, the adjustments last time did help, but it's still a little too loose, Bill.
Jeff Burton in the 99, Sterling Marlin in the 40. For the 99 of Burton, it is a track bar adjustment. Sterling Marlin got the rear air pressure in each tire, dropped a 1/4 pound to help him get off the turn. His car's good after it gets going. Dave.
Bobby Labonte had worked his way close to the top 15, but he complained that his car was tight in both ends of the track, still loose in the middle. How do you fix that? Jimmy Maycar tried by taking a 1/2 pound of air out of the right front, 2 rounds down to the wedge on the left rear.
Boy, I'm glad we have that camera at the end of pit road.
Yeah, we have a conversation going on between Dale Jarrett and Ricky Craven.
Well, Sterling Marlin obviously was the winner off pit road, but
Jarrett got second. Ooh, that's close.
oh, that's close.
Wow.
Gotta give that to Craven.
Oh, how you figure that?
Oh, look, right here.
Got there first.
Right there's leading that. Oh,
Well, an inch maybe.
that's all it takes.
I'm with Wall on that one. But they're still discussing
Nobody
it.
sold them yet.
Nobody told them who's got it. That's right.
All right, caution is out here in the Mountain Dew Southern 500. Todd Bodine with a wild ride off of turn 4.
Continues to lead. Had an excellent pit stop, trying to make his car a little better off the corners. The crew celebrating that pit stop that got him out first and kept him in the lead of this race. Let's meet the guys that got the job done.
Rick Railing, Jackson Fuel.
Green flag.
Close to that BP money.
Just 0.8 of a second off. Jeff Gordon had a great pit stop. I see those Rainbow Warriors got him out in 5th spot.
I'll tell you who else's crew gave him a great stop. Bobby Labonte. They came in 15th, put him out 9th.
And we don't have to worry about, oh, look here, Jarrett going for the lead. Right alongside that 40 car. Oh, yeah. But Sterling does not want to give it up.
Don't have to.
No, there. Wow.
Try it again.
That was point leader racing there.
That was courtesy.
You want it that bad? Go ahead. I'll get you in a few more laps. Dale Jarrett, 7th different driver to lead the Southern 500.
And Dave, here at Darlington, we don't have to worry about whether the team changes 2 tires or 4 tires, do we?
Dave must have got
Is Dave still working for us?
Did
he lead the racetrack or what?
Hello. Well, I
There
need an
you
open
go.
microphone, first of all. But when I tell you what I tell you, you'll understand. The 18 car did change 4 tires, but this is the 2nd week for a new front tire changer, but a name we've heard before, Hollywood. Mark Armstrong made his way over from the 99 car to the 18 car. He's made a big difference already.
lead change. Sterling Marlin.
Wanted it back.
Well, I told you. He said, you go ahead, I'll get you in a few laps. Sterling told me this morning his car was better on the longer run. Granted, we've only run a few laps here, but...
Yeah, well.
Sterling Marlin today is putting his stamp on the championship battle. I think that's what this is all about. Is guys, we are the championship team. You got to come beat us. What happened, Wally?
I'm just watching back there. Jimmy Johnson slid up in front of Dave Blaney, and I mean, slid over Dave Blaney.
You saw a wreck.
Saw a wreck, and it didn't happen.
Yeah.
There's Rusty. Rusty got out pretty good, didn't he? In that pit stop. Where is he?
7th best.
Yeah. This guy did a good job. Let me show you. Let me show you what I was talking about.
Please do.
Here's Jimmy Johnson sliding up. No, that doesn't do its justice. That angle. How about a different angle, guys?
Oh, you're
Humor me.
so picky.
Gee whiz, Wally.
I want the angle the way I saw it.
Well, nobody sees things quite like you do. Okay.
Okay.
That's the other angle, Wally. Happy?
Sorry, guys. It was really close, believe me.
Maybe you want to go downstairs and direct this thing next?
I thought I was.
It's all about you. Bobby Labonte in the 18 car running 9th, while up front, Sterling Marlin putting a little gap on Dale Jarrett. I talked to Sterling this morning. Said, when did you come here for the first time for the Southern 500? 1969. Said he was 11 years old.
Came with his father, Clifton Marlin, better known as Cuckoo.
Craven in the 32, racing Johnson there for 5th place. And Jimmy's through.
Just takes that spot away.
Talked to Jimmy's crew chief, Chad Canals, this morning. He said, as long as it stays overcast, we're going to be great. If the sun comes out, we're in a lot of trouble.
But really,
I bet they've been making some big adjustments.
I don't think so. This isn't really the sun. I mean, to us, it's the sun because we haven't seen it this light in 3 days. But when they're talking about the sun, I mean, the sun needs to come out and really heat up the track.
This sun counts to that car. Because I just checked with Chad about that, Wally, and he said it was already hurting him bad, and that was about 15 laps ago. Just makes the car really, really bad loose.
Okay. Well, put your sunscreen on down there, Bill.
I agree with you, though. We haven't seen this much sun since we've been here.
Yeah.
Rusty Wallace, the 2-car, fighting his way back. We saw him struggling that first run, but here he is back in the 7th position, trying to take 6th away.
And here comes Ryan Newman, his teammate, underneath him.
Okay, Rusty. See ya.
Here's second place. The Jeffs.
And Jeff.
That would be why I used the plural there.
Oh, I didn't hear the S. Sorry.
Jeff and Jeff. Jeff Burton 99. Jeff Gordon 24. Puts Jarrett back to 4th spot.
Tell you what, in the opening laps when Gordon was sliding back through the field, didn't look like it was going to be a very productive day for him, but they have made whatever adjustments needed to that car. They've certainly hit him right, haven't they? So Gordon to 3rd, Burton to 2nd, and that about a 1.5 seconds behind leader Sterling Marlin.
And that's one huge advantage to starting up front, because these guys, if it started back in the field somewhere, 25th to 30th would be a lap down now because they struggled so much. But the fact they were able to start up in the top 10 did not get lapped. Weber, what'd you have for us?
On the 24 car, Benny, that car has been tight since the race started, and they've been working to try and free it up a little bit. They've got it pretty much where they want it on the longer run, so last time they made an adjustment to try and make that car better on the get-go, right after the green comes out, and it looks like they have made progress in that direction.
He's back to where he started. Took the green flag in 3rd, and he's running 3rd now.
But he is 2 seconds behind that guy, Sterling Marlin, and this car won the race here in the spring. This is simply a continuation.
Talked about Kurt Busch starting at the back of the field. He's made some pretty good progress, Matt.
He sure has, Alan. He's been fighting a loose race car all day, but now the concern is about the right side of the car. He got himself a Darlington stripe. The crew came over and said, hey, do you think you might be able to get a shot of the right side of the car? And there you go, guys. They wanted to see if maybe the tires were rubbing. 4 different monitors down here. You've got about 12 different people. And they say, thank you, Benny.
No problem, guys. I'll direct anytime you want me to. Just no problem.
All you got to do is ask, right? Kurt Busch started at the back of the field because they changed an engine. Yesterday, after final practice, he's up to 11th now with that pass on Dale Earnhardt Jr. Sterling Marlin, the NASCAR Winston Cup Championship leader, is out in front of the Mountain Dew Southern 500. About 12 laps from halfway. 500 at Darlington Raceway in South Carolina is approaching its halfway point, something a lot of us never thought we'd see today. 2 hours delayed by rain, but now the sun is out, and Sterling Marlin is out in front of the field.
BP, when you ran here, you know how these cars slide up the racetrack? There's actually a cushion of air. You ever feel that? How when you drift up to the racetrack, see how Sterling's going? It's right before you hit the wall, the car actually stops, like there's a buffer of air right there. Except sometimes in turn 2, you go past that buffer, and you hit the wall.
When you just drive in the wall, you're supposed to hit the wall. But I understand what you're saying. And yes, sometimes you would slide up there and just know you're going to slam the wall. As a matter of fact, a couple times I've closed my eyes.
Yeah.
But
you can feel it. It actually pushes you away from the wall a little bit. See how fast we're going here.
Closing your eyes when you're racing, that's not generally advisable, is it?
I mean, had to be there.
It's not. You just, not for long.
I was so disappointed I didn't get to ride in the passenger seat.
Not any more disappointed than I was to give you that ride. 171, BP.
Okay. And really, truly, that should be the fastest point on the racetrack going in turn 3.
And that is pretty fast considering you have no tires.
Yeah, exactly. Because after all, it's been 15, 20 laps since we changed tires.
Actually, 23.
Oh, wow.
So I wonder how fast. So we'll have to check that with new tires.
Yeah.
Talked about Tony Stewart kind of struggling earlier. He's kind of on the march now, Bill.
He certainly is. He just told the crew it's the best the car's been all day. Picked up 5 spots on the track. Under caution, he told the guys in the pits, you're picking up more positions for me on pit road than I am on the racetrack. The car has been loose, but they've been working on it all day. Last time made a wedge adjustment and a track bar adjustment, and Tony Stewart is going in the right direction.
Up to 11th. Restarted 15th back at lap 159. It's one of the great things that you just have to love about this sport. Guys that you think are out of it with these pit stops and the adjustments these teams are able to make to the cars, all of a sudden, here they come.
Well, and that's what makes the good team so good, because they can make those adjustments when you're out to lunch. They make those adjustments, and they turn your car that's not handling very good into a great race car. That's why these guys are so good.
And one thing that's so important to that is the communication between the driver and the crew chief, the guy that calls for those changes on the race car. And that doesn't happen in a race or two. It takes a period of time. When Tony Stewart says on the radio, the car is tight off turn 4, it takes a few races before Greg Zipadelli, the crew chief, understands exactly how tight that he's talking about.
Exactly.
And the aerodynamics and the tire pressures and all the different things that go into making these machines work. And these guys yet can refine them to the point that they can make an adjustment on a pit stop with air and improve their car's performance.
And like Benny says, you have to learn the drivers, because some drivers say, well, my car's loose. Well, with some drivers, that may be a little loose. Some drivers, that may be that you're sideways. And the crew chief has to realize how loose or tight the driver means when he says, my car's tight.
And all of a sudden, Bill Elliott seemed to be very slow up between 1 and 2.
Tony Stewart just went by Elliott to take the 10th spot away from him. So Elliott, who led 43 laps earlier in this race, now struggling here. And the 07 car, Ted Musgrave, 1 lap down in 29th place, going to go by Bill.
Hey, Ted's running good laps. He lost a couple laps because of a flat tire, I guess, but he's been running really good.
Kurt Busch next to challenge Bill Elliott. Let's check on Dale Jarrett here. 4th place car, running right behind Jeff Gordon. Still in pursuit of his first win in the Southern 500. Matt?
Alan, he restarted in 2nd position. He's dropped back to 40-minute air pressure and track car adjustment on that stop. Todd, have the adjustments helped?
Well, they seem to. We started out, with fresh tires, he was able to get by Sterling and lead a lap, but the car's just still a little bit too free to go hard. Still a long way to go. Long way to go here at Darlington, and the main lap is the last few laps, and you got to keep that car, the side on it, and keep that thing in the race. And we'll keep adjusting on it. The guys have great pit stops, so we got a great race car. We got a real smart race car driver here at Darlington, and that's what it takes to win.
The trend this car has seen today is the best near the end of a long run.
And we have just reached the halfway point of the Mountain Dew Southern 500.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, they call it the Hallelujah lap. The lap that the race has become official. And we have crossed it now, so this one's in the books today. There'll be no Monday matinee here in Darlington. I want to back up just for a second and talk about the conclusion of yesterday's NASCAR Busch Series race, when the field was stopped about 100 yards shy of the start-finish line, coming to what would have been lap 74. And NASCAR said, well, the race is official because he's completed half the distance already, even if he doesn't cross the start-finish line. And it kind of set me aback for a minute, because I always thought, well, no, he had to come across the start-finish line and complete that lap. But I went back last night and looked in the rule book, and sure enough, the wording of the rule is that once the leader has completed half the advertised distance, the race will be considered officially completed. So yesterday it would have been 73.5 laps, would have been 100 miles here at Darlington, and Jeff Burton had completed that. So it was right according to the letter of the book.
I understood that, BP. How come he had to go back and read it in the book?
I think the confusing thing that happened yesterday was, for most everyone, the fact that NASCAR stopped the cars just short of the line. It was like, well, we're not halfway yet.
Yeah.
Why didn't they go by the line and park the cars down in turn 1? I think that they were trying to tell the fans, look, we're going to try to run this race more. If they had driven the cars down in turn 1 and said, okay, the race is half over, they would have lost 3/4 of their audience. They would have gone home because they're not going to run the race. I think by stopping, they were trying to tell the fans, we're going to try to continue this race if humanly possible. And it wasn't.
And they did, again, by the letter of the rule book, the race was more than half complete. And so things were good to go, and Jeff Burton got that W. Sterling Marlin is in pursuit of a W in the Mountain Dew Southern 500. Just past halfway, he is the race leader here in Darlington.
And the smoke, I don't know, it appears to be coming from under the car like it.
I don't know if he wrecked or something.
Is that oil all up on the right front fender there?
It looks like it could
I guess
be.
Well,
no, he's got some
right
damage.
rear, obviously.
Some damage to the right side, so. Andretti thinks his day is over.
Fourth caution of the race.
Probably just trying to get some air in there.
Looks like Jerry Nadeau and maybe Steve Park also might have gotten a piece of things. And Kevin Harvick, too. There's Harvick. Look at that.
Got a big piece of something.
I wonder if something let go and dumped some oil and all those guys hit it and piled into the wall.
Well, let's take a look. Yep, something broke or blew up on John's car. Obviously, it looked like he probably dropped the oil. And then they all came barreling in.
And the mess was on. 29 there. Harvick, Park, Nadeau. And Harvick is going behind the wall, as is Nadeau. Marty?
Ricky Craven in 6th. The last 2 stops, 13-6, 13-4. Loose in, loose off. They'll go down on the track bar for Ricky Craven. Matt?
Dale Jarrett told crew chief Todd Parrott the track bar adjustment just didn't help that much. They went back up the track bar, so now they're going to put 2 rounds of bite in the left rear. He hits pit road in the 4th position, Bill.
Burton in the 99, a little tighter set of tires, 1 round in the left rear. As for Sterling Marlin, the leader of the race, he's loose. They gave him 1 round of wedge, and again, he's going to beat him off pit road. Another great stop, Dave.
Bobby Labonte radioed in, I'm still sliding the nose, but as soon as I get on the throttle, it gets really, really loose. They made an air pressure adjustment to try to fix it this time.
First one off pit road is going to be Sterling Marlin. And it's a pretty close toss-up for second between Dale Jarrett and Jeff Burton. Who got there first?
Well, looks like maybe Jarrett did. Yes.
Then
The real race was between Burton and the 48 car of Jimmy Johnson, looked like. Burton beat him by a couple of feet.
So Marlett, Jarrett, Burton, Johnson, and Craven in the order they come off pit road. Add Mike Skinner's name to the drivers who got some damage in that wreck, too. 5 cars in trouble here in Darlington. The oil slick caught up Steve Park, Mike Skinner, Kevin Harvick, and Jerry Nadeau. All 5 of those cars are behind the wall. Let's have our Mountain Dew race recap and show you what's happened so far in today's event.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
The Grand Marshal won. Benny Parsons got the field rolling. They ran 19 laps, though, behind the pace car under the green and yellow flags. Tried to finish drying this racetrack after a 2-hour rain delay. Finally cut him loose at lap number 20. And Mark Martin got the jump on Sterling Marlin to take the early lead. Then it was Bill Elliott rallying his way up through. Elliott pushed to the front. Lap 92, Jimmy Johnson. The top spot away from Elliott, led for a little bit. Ricky Craven's crew got him off pit road first under a set of stops under caution for debris. He gave him the thumbs up. Craven took over the lead for a little while. Then Jeff Burton pushed his way past Ricky Craven out into the lead. So far, 7 different drivers have exchanged the lead 10 times. Here's another one. Sterling Marlin reclaiming the top spot. Lap 149. Todd Bodine with a solo spin. He had a left front flat earlier in the race that damaged his car. Nobody else involved there. Lap 160. Dale Jarrett took his turn out in front. Sterling Marlin back around Jarrett. 10 different lead changes so far. That was the most recent lead change. And then the most recent mess. Harvick, Park, Nadeau, Skinner, all caught up after John Andretti apparently lost an engine and oiled down turn 1. All those cars are behind the wall that are involved in the wreck. Dave is there.
Kevin Harvick's got a ringside view to one thing that his guys do best right now. But he never wants to see him in this position, Kevin. This track's hard to drive anyway. What was it like with oil?
Well, obviously it went straight and wound up in the wall. But, you know, these Jim Goodwrench guys will do the best they can to get it back out there. Thing's pretty tore up on the right front. And knocked the motor over on the left side and been on the crossbars, and the throttle hung wide open. So we were struggling a little bit with our car, but, you know, we had got it fixed and got a little better. But what do you do? John Andretti blew up, or an oil line or something fell off, and a whole bunch of us wrecked.
Kevin, we saw some major skid marks on the track going up to the wall there. What were you doing inside the cockpit to prepare yourself for the hit?
Earnhardt always told me to grab the bottom of the steering wheel and hold on tight. So that's what I did.
All right, that's about all you need to know, guys. It was a pretty big hit.
That
You
was a
should
big
ask
hit.
him if he closed his eyes like BP was talking about.
Oh, yeah. Always
I
close
can
your
ask
eyes.
him that, you know. BP said one time he closed his eyes before he ended up in the wall like that. Any eye closing here?
No eye closing. Not until I hit the wall. Then it was
closed automatically.
Then they knocked them closed, but it's a part of it.
All right, check out the guys in there. They're still going after it, working hard to try to get Kevin back on the track.
Kevin 17th in points coming into the race here at Darlington today. Still cleaning up down inside turns 1 and 2. They've got some of the jet blowers out to try and clean some of the oil dry and rubber off the racing surface.
Goes on the board. Sterling Marlin is out front. Dale Jarrett is in second. There's perhaps no more memorable race at this old famous racetrack than the 1985 Southern 500, held 17 years ago today. And you guys in the booth should know what happened on that day. That was the day Bill Elliott got his nickname $1 Million Bill. Now back then, the $1 Million bonus offered up by the folks at R.J. Reynolds was a little harder to come by. You had to win 3 of NASCAR's 4 Crown Jewel races. Bill won the Daytona 500, the Winston 500 at Talladega, and of course the Southern 500 here at Darlington. And who can forget that famous shot of all the money raining down in Victory Lane? Now there will be another No Bull 5 event next week at Richmond. Mark Martin and Dale Jarrett are eligible for that bonus. Another couple of Ford drivers, guys.
And $1 million back then, BP. That was like $5 million now.
Oh, that's a lot of money. But you know, that was probably the best and worst thing that ever happened to Bill, because it brought so much attention on him and his team that they just were not ready for. And they never had the success after 1985 that they won a championship and they won races, but they really didn't have that. They were not that dominant that year.
Yeah, well, even in 85, Benny, they won 11 times and still lost the championship. Perhaps because of some of the distraction that came from Labor Day weekend.
And winning that $1 million.
But it certainly did wonders for the sport. So much attention was focused on this race and that driver that weekend that it was one of the events that propelled the growth of NASCAR racing.
And right now, Bill Elliott has gotten to the point that he can win $5 million and can handle it.
Yeah.
But they struggled with it back in 1985, as anyone would.
I don't know how much I'd have struggled with $1 million. I'm still waiting to find out.
I'd like to try that.
All right, we're getting set to go back racing. Sterling Marlin's the leader. Dale Jarrett is second. Jeff Burton third. Jimmy Johnson fourth. And Ricky Craven is fifth. There are 23 cars on the lead lap. And they've just waved off the start. Got Sterling Marlin, I think, was the one who just radioed in that there's a pile of oil dry inside turn 1 he'd like to see cleaned up. So we're not going racing quite back yet here at Darlington.
$1 thrown in along the way. Before the pit stop, he was running third. As you can see right there, he came out 11th. The reason for that is they had a lug nut hang on the left front tire. They took the 5 off, then went to put the new tire on, put the wheel on there, sized it up, and when they hit the first lug nut, it stuck in the gun. So they worked to get it out, Pit stop ended up 19.80 seconds. So that definitely hurt them, dropping Jeff Gordon back in the field. Matt, how about the 97?
Well, Bill, they were still working on that right side. Remember, we showed you the video of him slapping the wall. But the bigger concern now is the front valence. Jimmy Finnick told Kurt that it seems like it's bending up right near the left front corner. So they're going to work on that in the next stop. And another concern may possibly be the weather. The team feels like rain is about 30 minutes out. They've warned Kurt, as the 9 cars warned Bill Elliott as well. But Jimmy Finnick told me, we don't care when it hits, we're going to the front, and we're going to have to go fast. Dave.
Matt, Elliott Sadler has had a steady ride now. I believe he's up to about 14th position. He started 25th today. I talked to Pat Trice and his crew chief. They've made good 4-tire stops. The last one to fix a tight condition on the car. They made a track bar adjustment. Interestingly, I talked to Leonard Wood, his car owner, this morning, or partial car owner, co-car owner, who's won 8 times here before with other drivers. They got it together this spring when Elliott finished second. That was his best finish here ever. And Leonard told me that sometimes it's just a situation where you need to get a driver, a track, and a setup all together. And this spring was the first time it really happened for Elliott and the Wood Brothers team. Alan?
Yoakum, did you just use the R word?
I said it's going to be a right nice day down here on pit road. I never said rain.
Okay, good. I was worried about that. You know, talked about Leonard Wood, the crew chief on this 21 car for many, many years. One of the greatest pleasures of my career happened last night. I inducted Leonard into the National Motorsports Press Association Hall of Fame. And what a thrill. What a great man he is.
98 wins as crew chief for the famed Wood Brothers team for Leonard Wood. As we told you on Countdown to Green, Dale Inman, Bud Moore, and pioneer NASCAR promoter Ed Otto also inducted into the Stock Car Hall of Fame last night. Ken Schrader in the yellow car, first one a lap down in 24th place, trying to see if he can get by Dale Jarrett and Sterling Marlin.
Jeff Burton, the 99 car, gets on the inside of Kenny Strader. He's trying to catch those two front cars, running in third spot.
Top 23 running on the lead lap. And we are just past the 200 lap mark here in the Mountain Dew Southern 500. Weather conditions today must be
Uh-oh, we got Craven up in the wall up there.
Scraping along the outside, but he got away with it.
Well, I don't know if he did or not, Alan. He might have hit it too hard. He might have knocked the suspension, bent the suspension on the right side.
Now, is that an official Darlington strike?
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
That might be a crash. I don't know.
I don't see any smoke coming off yet.
No, I don't either.
Which is a good sign.
Okay. He's falling back to 8th. Bill Elliott right behind him there in 9th, and Jeff Gordon in 10th.
Bobby Hamilton is slow off turn 2.
Yeah, he was the 18th place car last time by Benny on the lead lap.
Ricky Craven went through that cushion of air we were talking about. There he goes, right into it, right there.
Yeah.
And watch Tony Stewart in big orange.
Right on the left side of your screen. Ooh. Oh, got loose. Up. He's in the wall as well. You know,
there's still some oil up there.
Well, it's oil dry or oil or something. It has to be. There's Hamilton up in the wall.
In front of you, easy, buddy, easy, clear that away, that.
So all those guys having that same problem up in 1 and 2. Obviously, it was oil that the crew missed. And 99 Jeff Burton is off the pace. What's going on here?
Caution flags out too.
I wonder if there's still some oil up there or debris, like you were saying, BP. And these guys said, "Hey, slickery up here."
The caution is for a report of oil in turn 2.
Okay, there you have it.
But what happened to Jeff Burton?
They hit the wall with the right side.
Oh, look at that. Look at the right front tire.
Took off and went straight, right?
What up, Weber?
We're still talking it over, Benny, but he did brush the wall.
Well, to answer Frankie's question of how bad is it, that right front tire that's supposed to be facing north and south has got a little northeast and southwest in it.
I mean, whenever you see 2 or 3 cars hit the wall within 200 yards in the same lap or two, there's obviously something wrong with the racetrack.
Yeah, he didn't brush the wall, Bill. He hit it.
So that's 4 cars on 4 lead lap cars in 4 laps.
Let's change 4 tires first, okay? No fuel, okay? PK, tell the guy what you're going to do. You go over with a stick on the other side. Just do 4 tires, and then we'll look at the toe on the other side. Put the fuel in it, and then let Andy know that after you guys put the fuel in it, then you jump back over. PK, you go with somebody to the right side of the car and do the string.
So they're going to string that car, BP, to see if they knocked the toe out when they got into the wall. Get those wheels pointed in the right direction.
Typical of Jeff Burton's luck this season. Bristol last weekend makes that charge up through traffic, running 5th, gets caught up in the accident. Here he's running in the top 5, gets into some of that oil.
See Tony Stewart also after his contact. He's in the pits. Bill, 20 car coming to you.
And Tony Stewart is in. This will be 4 tires and fuel. Obviously, they haven't been under green for very long, but they wanted to make one more adjustment. Tony's car was tight, then loose, loose, loose. They've been trying to tighten up just a little bit each time. Again, another adjustment, trying to tighten him up just a little bit. Pull the fender out on the right front because he got some damage when he hit the wall, and then he's on his way. So he got that damage hitting the wall, came in and got the 4 tires and goes back out.
Everybody else that was involved in those separate incidents has come into pit except for Ricky Craven. Ricky did not come down pit road here this time.
Hey, fix the damage over there. We got time. Work on the fender, guys. Let's go. Work on the fender, please. Get the fender flat out there some, and then check the rear end eccentric, PK. Look at the rear end eccentric. Still pins.
Bill?
Pull the right rear quarter panel back
get any airtime with Frank Stoddard calling this pit stop. But they did find work. They did it fast, and then they started to come back, and Frank said, no, 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 go back there and check it again. Remember, he said during the Discover Card Countdown to Green, he came off the wagon last week to help work on the car because he wanted some TV time. That's Frank's way of saying, look, this is how it's supposed to be done.
Okay, now they're getting all the report. That's PK, Pierre Coutel, explaining to Frankie exactly what's damaged on the car.
Here's the chief mechanic on that team. All right, so they continue to try and get Jeff Burton back in the hunt here. And we are under caution here at Darlington. No question, Darlington's totally NASCAR territory. Hey, it's the Southern. Back at Darlington Raceway in the 53rd Mountain Dew Southern 500. Getting ready to go racing once again with Sterling Marlin as your race leader.
And Kenny Schrader in that M&M's car. He's still there, one lap down, trying to get it back. Kenny Wallace, the 23 car behind him.
Jeff Burton going to restart in 22nd spot. Kurt Busch also with an extended visit to the pit lane, working on that front air dam and the right side damage from when he bounced off the wall a little while ago. He's going to restart last on the lead lap in 23rd. .157 laps to go here. Weather does not appear to be threatening. Looks like we'll get the Southern 500 completed to its full distance tonight.
Jimmy Johnson, those first two cars able to get by Schrader. Johnson, the 48 car, was not.
Tight squeeze in traffic there on the two.
Hey, this is Darlington. It's never, ever easy here. All right, Jimmy Johnson gets by. I'm sorry, that was Jimmy Johnson had already got by. That was Rusty Wallace.
Yep. Rusty, remember, had fallen back if you were with us in the opening laps. Now chipping his way back toward the front in that two car. Started sixth. He's running fourth. Never won here at Darlington. Rusty Wallace has. Sound like Yoda there.
And here comes Jimmy Johnson. Looks like they've made some adjustments to that 48 car. It's working. Yeah, almost got the spot away. Not quite.
Well, other thing is cloud covers come back over, BP.
That's the big adjustment they made, Alan. You hit it right, the nail right on the head. I said it, Chad Knaus. What'd you do to that car? You just pointed at the clouds.
Again, Chad telling me this morning that if the sun came out, they were in trouble as long as it stayed overcast. He thought they'd have a great car. The sun came out for a little while, and they were sliding back. Howdy again. Here they come.
And Rusty Wallace, we know now that Billy Wilburn and that crew, Jeff Thousand, they made some terrific changes to this two car. Because he really struggled that first 50 laps or so.
And Benny, they've been doing it really in bits and pieces because Rusty's been tight in the center, loose in and loose off. So they've been trying to fix two conditions. And as you know, that's very hard to do in a race car. So they've done it really in just little baby steps, trying to dial that car in, make it better and better for Rusty. The key now is it's definitely better the longer they go. And that's when some of the field starts coming back to them.
Second, third, and fourth running pretty close together there. Fifth place on back, still bottled up in the lap traffic behind him.
On board with Jimmy Johnson. Second spot, looking back at third. And let's see, that's a battle back for about the ninth spot. The six car trying to get by Craven.
Haven't talked much about Mark for a little while, Benny.
He's another one that ran so well early on, led the race, and then has been struggling since. And we see Jeff Green.
Yeah, he got into the wall up there in 1 and 2 as well.
He was in 12th place at the start-finish line last lap.
Looks like he's coming to the pits.
Yeah, he hit that right front pretty good, it looked like. Not not be facing the right way that tire. Look at the concrete dust.
They may have a toe out problem there.
Two tires and go. That's different at Darlington.
I guess it felt like they'd given up all the time they could afford, so after a two-tire stop, back down pit road goes Jeff Green. But he loses at least a couple of laps.
Championship standings with Sterling Marlin leading. Mark Martin running back in 11th place. Jeff Gordon running 6th. Sterling's lead coming in was 95. And he has led the most laps today, too.
He's getting that stamp ready, like you said.
Yes, he's getting that stamp ready, saying Sterling Marlin, champ, 2002.
About to complete 300 miles for the Mountain Dew Southern 500 at Darlington. You're watching North Carolina, the 53rd running of the Mountain Dew Southern 500. Live coverage because we started about 2 hours late due to rain. Here's our Napa field summary. 7 different drivers have led today. Sterling Marlin, Bill Elliott, Mark Martin, Ricky Craven, Jeff Burton, Jimmy Johnson, and Dale Jarrett. Marlin has led the most laps so far. And the only 2 cars out of the race, Morgan Shepherd, who went out with an engine failure at lap 43, and John Andretti also suffering engine failure at lap 190. 10th place here.
Yeah, Mark's been trying for the last few laps. Looks like he's got it done this time. Got the preferred line going into turn 1.
So Mark Martin, who started on the front row, fell back as far as 17th, 18th place.
Junior got a good run through there.
Wow, that was a terrific run through there.
Where's he at with the leader?
12.3 back.
Not a straightaway.
Not a straightaway.
And it looks like Junior's staying about even. Run about the same speed as Sterling Marlin. Marty, what those guys saying down in the Earnhardt pits?
Well, it's been pretty much of a struggle for these guys today. They bounced back and forth between loose and tight, Benny. Junior said, I just can't be as aggressive as I need to be at the beginning part of a run. So what they've done, they've kind of gone back to the setup they had on that first run. Remember, he started back in the field, made his way up to the front very quickly, and that's what they're on right now, and it seems to be responding, especially now that the clouds are out. That's really helping these guys.
And you wonder, I mean, can it make that much difference? Clouds being over the sun, can it make that much difference? Yes, it can.
Here, Tony Raines just put a Darlington stripe on his car, and he is off the pace around the inside of 1 and 2. Saw Jeff Burton get in trouble a little while ago when he hit some of that oil in 1 and 2. Bill, he's back on the track, but he's the last one on the lead lap.
Yeah, it's a really touchy situation, too. They had a bunch of concrete inside their wheels, and normally you're concerned of what that's done to, you know, how the tires are aligned. So Jeff's really just taking it easy out there. That's what Frank Stoddard said. Do the best you can do, and if we get a chance, we'll work on it. But it's not going to end up like they were hoping.
Yeah, it's a shame.
You can see he's 1 mile per hour slower than the leader.
Normally when you hit and when you take the wheels off and concrete comes out of them, there's probably a good chance something's bent under there.
Sterling Marlin continues to lead the Mountain Dew Southern 500. Past the 300-mile mark today. Can this be his day? In turn 4, it's Matt Kenseth, and the caution flag is out.
Well, I don't think he is going to get lapped. Sterling Marlin, leader, comes by before Kenseth can get his car going, but that's the least of his problems, getting lapped. Pretty heavy damage to the DeWalt Ford.
So take another one off the lead lap.
Left front's flat. I don't know if that happened before or after the crash.
Left rear's flat.
Right rear corner's all caved in there. The right front don't look bad at all.
6th caution flag of the race today. It's going to bring everybody to pit road with 1:32 to go.
Oh, the right front looks bad to me.
Right front tire's flat. I guess all 4 tires are flat.
Yeah, looks like all of them are flat.
All right, let's see if we can see what might have happened to Matt Kenseth, young man from Wisconsin.
got up in that loose stuff, which is really close to the wall.
Todd needs to clean his windshield, doesn't he? We could see better if his windshield was clean.
Here they come. 1:32 to go. Might these be the next to last stops of this race?
Could very well be, Marty.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. running 10th. Benny has not been happy with his stops today, with his teammate Steve Park out of the race pretty much for the win. He borrowed his rear tire changer and his rear tire carrier. A little bit tight for Dale Jr. They make an air pressure adjustment and 4 tires, Matt.
Marty, on the last stop, Dale Jarrett's crew gained him 2 spots on pit road. He is still loose, especially in the center of the corner. They make a chassis adjustment, 4-tire change, Bill.
Jimmy Johnson, 4 tires, 1 round in the right rear because he's a little loose. That's the 48 car. For the 40 of Sterling Marlin, this should be their 3rd in a row. Outstanding pit stop. Matt.
Bill, trouble on the 88, right rear. They had to borrow Mike Trower's air gun. Trouble with the air gun. This is going to cost them dearly for Dale Jarrett. Now 26, 27, 28 seconds. Losing a lot of spots as they're trying to get that left rear tire off. Now they've got it off. Now Jason Sheets has it on.
Man, how frustrating can that be?
He drives down pit road. There's not another car on pit road. Up there, sorry, there is another car.
It's going to put him back about 20th in line. Came down pit road 3rd.
Yeah, came down 3rd.
And he's going to go out 20th. All right, let's check how they came off pit road. Dale Jarrett will not be in this shot. Not unless we wait for a little while.
Sterling once again comes off first. He went in first, comes off first. Ryan Newman, look you there.
Was that Gordon?
Looks like
Gordon?
Jeff
Jimmy
Gordon.
Johnson?
Yeah.
Rusty? Bobby Labonte?
And Bill Elliott. So Sterling Marlin holds serve. He maintains the lead. Troubles for Jarrett. His attempts to win the Mountain Dew Southern 500 taking a little bit of a blow here.
A very serious blow. Watch this. On the rear, Jason Sheets. There he is. He looks down. I got a problem. I got a problem. Bring me a gun. He's just jumping up and down. Finally, Mike Trower, the front tire changer, brings the gun around. He tightens the lug nuts. But he's got to give the gun back to Trower because he's got to go back and change the left front. And when he finishes that, they got to give the gun back to Sheets so he can change the rear tire. Only 2 guns allowed across the wall.
Yeah, and even if one breaks, you can't bring a 3rd one across and throw one back.
Ready. Green flag.
Once you bring those 2 across the wall, those are the 2 you have to work with. Ryan Newman now up to 2nd spot, highest he's been all race
Jeff
long.
Gordon taking a look underneath Newman, though. Take it.
New 2nd place man. Could it be after 31 races without a win, Jeff Gordon could do it back-to-back?
Hey, he's got a streak going, 1 in a row.
You want to talk about streaks. Jeff Gordon won the Southern 500 4 straight years. Never been done before, never been done since. Here he comes.
He's right there, right on that back bumper, that Dodge. Jeff Gordon going for the lead on the backstretch.
Gordon's out in front, first time all race.
Much to the delight of trouble. Some of the people.
Off of turn 2, Jerry Nadeau. 2nd time of the day. He just come back out from the garage a little bit ago.
Here comes Nemechek to try to get his lap back.
Yeah, that's Gordon's teammate. Ken Schrader also trying to make the bonsai run up through traffic.
I believe Jeff will give him that back.
If they haven't already taken the caution.
25 did take the caution the first time, they're saying, so he's got to get back in behind Gordon.
Matt, what happened to the gun on the right rear on the 88 car?
Well, Benny, I spoke to Jason Sheets, the rear tire changer. He told me when he jumped over the wall, apparently on the wall is an electrical box. It hooked the hose. So when he got around to the car, it yanked the gun out of his hands, and it broke the gun. That's why he had to borrow Mike Trower's gun.
But he had the lugs off the right rear first, didn't he?
Yes, but the button on the gun to push to reverse it back, it broke, so he couldn't reverse the gun back to tighten the lugs.
Oh, man, oh, man.
Frustration.
Well, at least it happened under the yellow for him.
There we see Phil Horton, their pit crew coordinator, talking things over with Jason.
Don't think we'll see any of the leaders come in and pit here, since we've only just run a couple of laps under the green. And so far, no takers. 126 laps to go here at Darlington. Can Dale Jarrett rally from 21st place and still get to victory lane in the laps remaining?
Is Jeff Gordon, who's had tremendous success at this track, as Alan talked about a little while ago. He might be one of the happiest guys at Darlington right now leading this race, but he's not the happiest. The happiest man at this racetrack right now has to be Todd Gant. That's Jeff Gordon's front tire changer. That's the guy that had the lug nut hang up on Gordon's 19.8-second pit stop. No problems last time. 14.2 seconds for Gant and the guys. An air pressure adjustment, a wedge adjustment. The car gets a little tight when the sun goes away. But Tony Gibson from this crew told me a little while ago it's all driver now. There's Tony talking it over with some of his other guys. He said it's all driver right now, and we got the right guy.
And Jeff Gordon now the race leader here at lap 243. I told you about Joe Nemechek trying to get his lap back coming to that caution, and said that he did not. He got the caution the first time by. That was the initial call from race control, but then they went back and checked the photo finish camera, and Joe did not get the yellow the first time, so they allowed him to keep that lap he made up, and he's now on the lead lap in 21st place. Next Saturday night, some wonderful short track racing on TNT. Coverage starts Friday with Blood Bowl qualifying, 3 Eastern time. Busch Series racing from Richmond Friday night at 8 o'clock Eastern. Then next Saturday night, the Chevy Monte Carlo 400 with the Looney Tunes at 7 o'clock Eastern time. Gordon and Rusty, back to perhaps
to Richmond.
That'll be fun. Championship standings now as we continue to follow the race for the title. Marlin second, Gordon first in the race, Martin is 8th, Johnson is 4th, Stewart is 10th. Everybody having a good day so far. Only guys on the lead lap who pitted are the last 3. Bobby Hamilton, Kyle Petty, and Joe Nemechek have fresh tires on. Jeff Burton also pitted. The hood went up on his car, and the crew continued to try and fix the damage from that earlier bounce off the turn 2 wall.
They're already green flag. We're back to it. Schrader once again on the inside.
Been trying all day, hasn't he?
Been trying to
that lap back.
I just love this. That corner over there is so exciting to watch.
You would have said that if I gave you a ride.
You might be surprised. I might have been screaming Yahoo inside the car.
Ted Musgrave got by Kenny Wallace. Trying to get by Schrader now. Here comes by Schrader. Oh, there we go.
Boy, that closed everybody up behind him.
That is for the first car 1 lap down. Those 3 locked up right there, 36, 07, and 23. In the meantime, they got the 4th place car, Jimmy Johnson, bottled up.
Not for long. Here comes Jimmy. He gets by Kenny Wallace in 23. Well, you're right, Alan. He's still following these guys, trying to get a good run through the corners. Bobby Labonte closed up around his back bumper.
Yeah, Bobby just got by Rusty Wallace to pick up 5th. There's Bobby, 2000 winner of the Southern 500. In fact, in the last 2 editions of this race, Bobby has a win and a 3rd place finish. having a pretty good day, Dave.
He's having a great day, Alan. On that last caution flag, he checked up a little bit and wanted to know if he had any damage on the car. He did not. Interestingly, last week in a checkup situation in Bristol, they did get some damage. They decided to come in and pit, and that's when he really fell back in the field and couldn't make his way back up. Today, they saw no damage to the car, so they decided to stay out.
He started the race today in 18th place. Got his first top 10 finish last Saturday night in Bristol since his win at Martinsville in mid-April. It's been a struggle.
Sounds like Labonte and his crew have old momentum going for him.
Second place here.
And Sterling Marlin about to lose that to Ryan Newman. Well, maybe.
Tell you what they have lost. Contact with Gordon.
Yeah, he's pulled out about a second ahead of these guys. Make that a second and a third. Oh, yeah. Apron. What a pass. Unbelievable. Ryan Newman on the apron of the racetrack. I'm impressed.
Last caution came out when Matt Kenseth spun off turn 4 and crashed to the inside wall. His car's in the garage, and Dave Burns is there.
Part of the worst damage they're fixing right now, Alan, is they've got a right front hub assembly that is completely destroyed. Matt, what happened that sent you into the wall?
I just feel bad for these DeWalt guys. They worked really hard. We tested here for 2 days, and I've just basically my fault. Couldn't figure out what to put in this car to make it fast, and just trying to go too fast and lost control of it, so just my fault.
All right, driver taking responsibility on that one, guys.
That's pretty big.
Sounds like Marty in his go-kart, trying to go too fast and lost control.
Too fast for conditions.
6th place. Bill Elliott led early in this race, and Rusty Wallace.
You know, Bill Elliott was talking about the car just not feeling right, and I speculated it might be a valve spring. I don't think that was correct, because I don't believe this car would still be running here 150 laps later, as well as Bill Elliott is running, if it had that kind of problem.
Checking the interval up to the next cars on the lead lap. Jimmy Johnson, Bobby Labonte, 4th and 5th.
Okay, now, technically the sun's out.
It's coming, it's peeking back out, yeah.
So we'll have to keep an eye on Jimmy here.
Clouds have been make or break for his car's handling all day.
Jimmy Johnson claiming that when the sun comes out, takes the...
Let me just let you get the story straight as I told it.
Go ahead, Alan.
His crew chief, Chad Knaus, said this morning, if the sun were to come out, they would be in trouble as long as it stayed overcast. They would be in good shape, handling-wise.
Well, that's what I was going to say. You didn't give me 3 words out.
You said Jimmy Johnson said. That's wrong. Chad Knaus said. I can't cut you any slack. You don't cut me any. Jimmy running 4th now. I'll tell you what, Johnson and Ryan Newman, a lot's been said about their outstanding rookie seasons, but for 2 guys to come to Darlington and in their first race at this racetrack pull off top 10 finishes and be running in the same spot in their second races here, that's pretty impressive.
Well, these 2 guys have been, they're both, as you said, Rebecca's rookie challengers, but they both have been so successful this year and so impressive what they've been able to accomplish.
Jeff Gordon trying to win his 5th Southern 500. He's led 15 of the last 16 Darlington races, and he's out front with 112. Mountain Dew Southern 500 at Darlington. He's won this race on 4 different occasions, and right now he's out in front of Ryan Newman by 1.7 seconds. Sterling Marlin is faded 4 seconds back to 3rd. Jimmy Johnson is 4th. Bobby Labonte is 5th. And the rest of the top 10 are Bill Elliott, Rusty Wallace, Tony Stewart, Mark Martin, and Robbie Gordon.
Ooh, man.
Now, the left side doesn't look too bad, BP, but the right side is pretty dirty.
And this car's going down the backstretch. See, down the front stretch, it's not really a problem because the sun is at Rusty Wallace's back. Goes down in turn 1 at about 171 miles per hour. Up to 3 and 4, up against that wall. Well, let's don't hit that thing. And here's where the problem starts. As he goes down the backstretch, approaching turn 3, he's driving into the sun. And what do you see, folks? Nothing.
Losing a spot there to Tony Stewart. That was 7th place. But you'll notice there's a big difference in the quality of the view on the left side of the windshield, right where the driver is,
Right.
than the right side of the windshield.
They just tear, it's like a new skin. They just tear that outer skin off, and you can see where they haven't on the right side, but they have on the left side.
And this racetrack, the surface, there's so much sand and things just in this area. Anyway, windshields are a problem. I can't imagine what they did before those tear-offs.
And a lot of the rubber.
Yeah.
Because the seashells in the racetrack tear these tires apart. And you get a lot of rubber off the racetrack and hit the windshield. And it's just like all these little black dots on the windshield. So when you come in for a pit stop, one of the first things you ask for is, hey, get a guy to tear off the windshield for me.
Team Caliber 360 Racers got some tear-offs on it today, huh, BP?
Yes, we sure do. And here's what they do. They come in, and the guy goes across the wall. NASCAR allows the guy to come to the driver's aid. He just rips it off. Hey, but wow, brand new windshield. It's terrific. I wish they'd had these when I was driving. Why did you have those when you were driving?
Yeah, we did. We did have those.
Got multiple layers on there. You see one.
Let's try one more.
There
See,
you go.
watch that. Rip it right off, huh?
Perfect. Perfect. Because we started a couple of hours late today, that sun is really going to get to be at a severe angle late in this race. I can remember watching the race here. I think it was the 86 Southern 500, Benny, where we had a long rain delay, and Tim Richmond and Dale Earnhardt and Bill Elliott all took turns driving straight into the wall between what's now turns 3 and 4. Because they could barely see.
Because they couldn't see. I mean, you saw what and they did not have tear-offs back then. And you saw what Rusty Walsh was seeing out the right side of his windshield. Nothing. They cleaned the windshield with water and soap and what have you. But here, there's a lot of sand at this racetrack. There's a lot of grit coming off the racetrack. It hits the windshield and it literally sandblasted to the point that you can't clean it.
Jeff Gordon still running the fastest laps of anyone right now, expanding his lead over Ryan Newman with 100 laps to go in the Southern 500. Jeff Gordon leads Ryan Newman by 1.5 seconds. Sterling Marlin, the championship leader, runs 3rd.
But Ryan Newman is getting a little bit closer to Jeff Gordon. He's starting to run just a little bit faster. He's gained about 1/2 second in the last 3 or 4 laps. There he is. Not that far behind.
You see at the top of the screen, we're at lap 271. Now 272. Jeff Gordon took the lead for the first time all race at lap 240.
You see that last lap, Ryan Newman just a tick faster than Jeff Gordon.
Let's go back and check on some guys in the backside of the top 10 or just outside of it. Here's Elliott Sadler running in 12th in the Wood Brothers car. He started 25th. Dave?
Alan, he was a little tight at the beginning of this run. Then he was all quiet because this run actually started, it was on a restart again, and the car was a little bit better this time. In fact, he commented in his best Virginia twang, got me a good restart that time. That's Elliott Sadler. As for the 41 of Jimmy Spencer, they've been working on grip all day long, but even after Jimmy reported that they had the best grip all day, crew chief Doug Randolph decided to take 2 spring rubbers out of the rear, 1 out of each side. And Jimmy reported back in, that's the best grip I've had all day. He's a little bit tight now. They want to make a track bar adjustment when he comes in.
Jimmy running right now in 13th place. Just behind him is Kurt Busch. He's had an eventful weekend.
And it looks like Kurt Busch is trying to take that spot away from Spencer, and does. And Jared tried to squeeze in there.
Flapping around there.
Rear bumper. I don't know if somebody got in the back of him or when he slid up into the wall, it did that damage.
How about Dale Jarrett? Had those pit troubles at lap 235. Came out 21st.
There's the bumper.
I think that happened when he made contact with the wall.
When he striped it?
Yeah, when he striped it.
Tell you what, for starting last today, that's a pretty solid day so far, even after the contact with the wall. How about Kurt Busch, Matt?
Well, they did try repairing that right rear corner of that bumper where you see 2 big sheets of tape, and they also fixed that front valence, but apparently the tape is not holding. You can see it flapping in the breeze.
Yeah, they needed 170-mile-an-hour tape. They only had 130-mile-an-hour tape, and it came loose.
And Dale Jarrett running in 14th place now. I mentioned he fell back to 21st on his pit stop. He was 3rd and had that air gun trouble, and he's trying to dig out of a hole. Got 92 laps left to try and get it done.
And there's the brothers Burton. Jeff in the 99 car, Ward in the 22. Bill, what are they saying about the 99 now?
Well, they checked the toe under that last caution, Benny, and it was not in half an inch. So they fixed it, Ward getting by him. He's out there doing the best he can. Obviously, when you hit the wall, the car's never going to be perfect, but they did fix it to the best of their ability under caution at a racetrack and send it back out. He's just a little bit too loose. They'd like to tighten him up. Marty?
Well, about 60 laps ago, I wouldn't have given you a nickel if you said Ward Burton would finish this race in the top 10. They were junk early in the race. In fact, his quote was, "The car's all over the place, Tommy." Talking to his crew chief, Tommy Baldwin. "It's out of control." I didn't think he would be the defending champion of the Southern 500 after today, but who knows? The car has really come to life after that last adjustment.
So Ward around his brother to pick up that 15th spot. And next in his sights will be the big brown truck just ahead there. Next car up. Say somebody else having a good day who also put a Darlington stripe on his car earlier is Robbie Gordon.
Yeah, Robbie's up to 9th place. So he's running really good. He's running fast times too right now.
Just ahead of Dale Earnhardt Jr. there. Matt?
Alan, the team that Robbie Gordon had prepared his car for today, finished 3rd here back in the spring with Kevin Harvick. I asked crew chief Kevin Hamlin, what's your driver saying about his car? He says, well, the car is tight in and loose off, and he just hit the wall again. I said, what's that, like the 6th time? He said, try the 7th or 8th. He says, we're not going to win any beauty contest with this car today, but we might come home a nice top 10 finish at a place where the driver just does not like.
Troubles for Elliott Sadler. Was that left rear tire flat when he came around that corner?
I couldn't tell, but unfortunately, if he makes his pit stop now, he's got to make another stop before the day is done. Dave?
They're here, Benny, but the left rear looks okay. It does have the Goodyear knocked off of it, so he's obviously been in contact with something. Right rear comes off. It's full of air, too, so it must have been something Elliott was feeling. A lot of concrete dust falling out of that left rear, too. Actually, not of the left rear. That'd be the wrong wall. But he's back out.
Did you see the tire changer kick the car when he rolled by?
They've had so much trouble here lately. They failed to finish 3 of the last 4 weeks. And there's a lot of frustration there, I'm sure. Jeff Gordon leads. 87 laps to go. Can he pick up his 5th win in the Southern 500 and take a victory for a 2nd straight week? Today's Mountain Dew Southern 500. TNT live at Darlington Raceway in South Carolina. A 2-hour delay for rain pushed the start of this event back, but the weather broke. Looks like we're going to see the full distance today. We could be seeing Jeff Gordon's assault on the NASCAR Winston Cup Championship.
Southern 500, Cale Yarborough has won this race 5 times, and Cale, all those 5 victories as big as they get for him because he grew up in Timmonsville, South Carolina, about 15-20 miles from here.
Jeff, of course, his 4 wins all came in back-to-back years. 95, 96, 97, and 98. He's got 81 laps to go. Leaders all pitted at lap number 235. That was with 132 laps to go. That would leave him 2 equal 66-lap runs. We expect to see him in about lap 300, 301.
And that time, Ryan Newman was a little faster than Jeff Gordon going down in turn 1, but Jeff passed a car. It might have been. Let's try him going in turn 3. Yeah. Ryan Newman much faster than Jeff Gordon. 2 miles per hour. Or is that 3 miles per hour?
Last lap, Newman ran 3/10 of a second quicker than Jeff.
That might have been the 21 car that we called going through there because he's out there, Elliott Sadler, on fresh tires. And, boy, he is Superman now, that 21 car. down in the TV compound that those numbers were correct. Ryan Newman that much faster going in turn 3.
Well, he'll catch him pretty quick if he's going that much faster.
We're creeping in on those final, what could be final pit stops if this thing goes green to the finish. So let's take a break here so we're back in time before the leaders head for pit road. Gordon's out in front, 78 at the 400-mile mark in the Mountain Dew Southern 500. Jeff Gordon, 293 laps down. If this were the spring race here, he'd have just taken the checkered flag. Got another 100 miles to go in today's race.
And Ryan Newman is still a second and a quarter behind Jeff Gordon. There he is, Newman. Last time by, he lost about 0.2 of a second to Jeff Gordon.
Marlin still third. Jimmy Johnson and Bill Elliott making up the rest of the top 5.
We kind of seesawing back. Jeff will be 0.2 quicker than the next lap. Newman will be 0.2 quicker. But they're not really in traffic.
Now Jeff is going to run across some catching cars now. Bobby Hamilton, Mike Wallace.
These are the guys at the end of the lead lap. Hamilton is. He is 20th place, making 19th place. Last car on the lead lap. Mike Wallace went down a little bit earlier. He's in 28th place. You see Gordon's car wiggle there when he tried to cut under Hamilton? BP, you've been in these things many times. You too, Wally. You're after 400 miles now. You've been fighting this old racetrack all day. The tires are worn out. You've been out here for 60 laps on these tires. What's it like?
I've been wanting tires about 20 laps ago.
Yeah, Jeff Gordon's situation. He looks in the mirror and he sees that 12 car getting closer and closer. And he wants something to give him an advantage.
All you're doing is, you're letting the car go where it needs to go. Like right here, you watch Jeff. The car will just slide up the racetrack, and you just got to wait till it stops sliding. Then you pick up the gas ever so gently, push that gas pedal down real easy, especially here at Darlington, because there's no grip. So you just, everything is almost like in slow motion driving a race car here at Darlington.
Kyle Petty, 17th place on the lead lap, Dave.
And Alan, his earpiece fell out earlier in the day, actually during this run, and he cannot hear his crew. They have asked NASCAR and communicated to NASCAR to throw Kyle the black flag when they want him to pit. They're going to communicate that, and NASCAR said they would. So the black flag Kyle to tell him it's time to come in.
Wow. Yeah, that's a courtesy NASCAR extends to the team if they lose radio communication to help them get their driver off the racetrack.
Well, they don't want him out there running out of gas in front of someone and creating problems.
That is very distracting when you lose your earplug in one of these race cars. These cars are so loud. It's very distracting driving with an earplug hanging out.
Kyle, pretty solid day. He's on the lead lap, 17th place. Not spectacular, but steady. And that's kind of been the mode of operating for this team this year. Kyle's, been fairly liberal about saying, yeah, last year we were really good at running, 30th. And then we got really good at running 25th and 20th, and now we're getting really good at running 15th. Dale Jr. in, first spot on pit road. Marty?
Wow, and he nearly overshot his pits. He had to slam on the brakes to make his pit stall, which is the first one on pit road, as you mentioned, Alan. Just sliding all over the place for Jr. Wants some more overall grip. They do make an air pressure adjustment. Again, has his teammates rear tire changer and rear tire carrier and Steve Clark, and a good stop for these guys so far.
Rusty Wallace is also in.
He just goes around the tunnel. Right sides are up.
They were looking to peel the windshield off, but I don't think he could find the tab.
So he's going to have to live with it.
Yep.
Final 67 laps.
Front tire changer done about a second or two. About a second quicker than the rear. 15.5, not bad.
Jimmy Spencer leaving pit road after his stop, and here comes Tony Stewart in. Jeff Gordon is also on pit road behind Tony Stewart. Leaders in. Go ahead, Bill.
Excellent point, Alan. They're going to have to be very careful here. Stewart into his stall first. They've got the car in pretty good shape after his brush with the wall earlier. It's just a little bit tight. Gordon now slowly creeping down pit road will have to swing around. It's 4 tires and fuel for Stewart. Gordon is just a little bit tight also. He gets tight when the clouds come out. So they peel off the windshield, make a half round into the right rear, come around to the left side. Remember, they had one bad pit stop earlier. They've had several good pit stops. This one seems to be going very well. The track's down and Gordon's on his way.
15.1, not bad. Mike Wallace, who was right in front of Jeff Gordon, goes out right with him, so a good stop for the Conseco team.
Benny, I hate to give you the bad news, but it was a good stop after they put the hood down. Oh, they had the hood up on Mike's car. Marty?
Ward Burton's car's really come to life. He is loose off the corners, so Tommy Baldwin decided to take a pound out of both rear tires, and a great stop for the Cat team. Matt?
Marty, cloud cover and adjustments have put the 9 car back in the race, but the car then got a little too tight, so they had to make an air pressure adjustment to try to free him up. Dave?
For Bobby Labonte, air into the right front and left rear, air out of the left front and the right rear. The car sliding all over the place, still pushing the nose. That's the biggest problem for Labonte.
Ryan Newman has been in. Mark Martin is the leader. Now he comes down pit road. It should be the final stop for him unless we get a caution flag, Matt.
And Mark Martin gives up the lead for what should be his final stop. No adjustments on the 6 car. They have been working on this race car all day. At one point, they went back in the middle of the race to where they started with as far as their air pressure and chassis adjustments. They have finally got the car where it needs to be, and he is good to go.
I love those jackmen, don't you? Those big, burly guys.
Uh-oh. Is that Jimmy Johnson's? Yep. Back on pit road. Caution is out. I don't think anybody got caught by it.
That is left rear. Jimmy Johnson's left rear. Yeah.
Is he going to go around?
Yeah.
Well, it's too late now because he's already been lapped. Jeff Gordon has already gone past.
What is that?
It's Ward Burton's car.
On board the Cat Dodge, and saw that tire cap rolling down the backstretch. Man.
Amazing. Thank God for interliners.
And he had just made a pit stop. I mean, it must have cut the tire down leaving pit road. He had just made a pit stop, not more than a lap before that.
And they just checked the photo finish camera and confirmed that Jimmy Johnson did lose a lap to the leader, so he's going to have to stop here in the front stretch, let them overtake him, and then come in and make his stop. Looks like the cycle of pit stops had been completed before the caution, so we're right back where we started from. Jeff Gordon leading in a short sprint to the finish. Said that yes, Jimmy Johnson did get to the caution properly ahead of the leader, so he has come around the pace car, back up behind the field, and now onto pit road.
They changed that left rear tire that just, for some reason, went flat in just a lap or a half lap.
Pitted at 3:01 and at 3:04 had this problem.
Not sure, it just gets sideways and that left rear just separates.
I tell you what, it's amazing that he's able to save the car.
Yeah. Well, like I said, those interliners are great.
The tire within a tire that allowed him to run around and not crash or damage his car. And of course, that's that's one of the players for the championship. So that's a tough point hit for him. Johnson in 5th place coming into today's race, and now he's going to be back in 21st or 22nd here. It'll be 22nd with only 60 laps to go.
See, I think he was past the start-finish line in pit lane when the yellow came out.
Yes, he was on pit road when the caution flag came out.
Looking down on Darlington from our U.S. Army Skycam, courtesy of the United States Army and Army of One. Bill?
The valve stem is gone on the left rear tire of the 48 car.
Okay.
So he either made contact with someone or it's separated, but they, other than that, they don't know. But the valve stem is gone. When that happens, the air goes, and you know, fortunately, the inner liner stayed up. So they caught 2 brakes. The inner liner stayed up, and they didn't go a lap down. But you know, that's making the best of what's a very disappointing situation.
All right, here we go.
Jimmy Johnson going to restart 20th with 59 laps to go.
You ready? Green flag, green flag.
Jeff cleared the left down car, got a little bit of a break there because Ryan Newman didn't.
Oh, and Jeff Green, the 30 car, trying to get a lap back, squeezed Newman up against an outside retaining wall.
And that cost Newman a lot of time right there.
Jeff Green is the first one lap down in 23rd place. He's trying to get up there and see if he can get a lap back from the leader. Of course, if Ryan Newman's a little mad right now.
Yeah, I mean, because that was a present for Jeff. But, you know, Jeff's doing what he needs to do, too. He's trying to get that lap back. If anything happened right now, he's still close enough to Jeff where he could go for getting that lap back.
Bill Elliott right there in 3rd, and that 9 car just ahead of Sterling Marlin.
Okay, Ryan Newman now is just a tick over 1 second behind Jeff Gordon. We'll make that a 2nd and 3/4.
Has just come down pit road, very slow on the racetrack with some right front problems on his car.
It's almost 2 seconds that lap, BP. That's a long ways.
So Ryan Newman that time lost about a 1/3 of a second to Jeff Gordon.
So what about Jeff Green's role on that restart, Wally? I mean, he had every right to be there.
Oh,
to try and race.
Jeff did everything he was supposed to do. He raced hard into turn 1 to try to get that lap back, so he didn't do anything wrong. But Jeff Gordon got a little bit better restart, and he was able to clear the car of Jeff Green, which gave him that opportunity to put some distance between him and Newman, because Newman and Jeff Green had to go by side through 1 and 2.
And right now, Ryan Newman, not one of the 3 fastest cars that lap.
Newman 25 car might have a tire going down. Coming out of turn 2 on the backstretch, he looked like he had his hands full. Joe Nemechek. Now it looks like the car definitely has a tire going down.
Caution is out. That thing's not turning.
And now it's finally started. Something locked up. It's like
and he missed pit entrance.
That's the least of his problems right now.
Yeah. But I saw him get squirrely up there between 1 and 2. He got way out of it, saved it. Jeff Green just not close enough to get that lap back. Oh, yeah, he did.
Wow.
Well, Jeff Gordon certainly did not want to see this caution flag.
53 laps to go, Benny.
And man, that tire was not turning. I mean,
the inner liner didn't stay up on that one.
But yeah, I'm thinking about that after I remarked on it. He probably had the brakes locked down, trying to stop it to get to pit road.
Yeah.
And with no rubber on that thing.
Well, I think it actually went down going into turn 3 when I was watching it. But
now then,
anybody going to pit?
That's a good question.
Yeah,
very good question. I wonder if any of these guys are going to stop. Obviously, the guys at the very back, Jeff Green, Bobby Hamilton, those guys might stop and get 4 tires.
All right, you're Gordon's crew chief. Do you stop, BP?
I don't think so.
What about you?
How many laps have we run?
We've only run
about 10.
No.
9 or 10.
I'm not coming in.
Mark Martin's the one on the apron, but he pulls back up in line, seeing no other takers. Tony Tony Stewart's going to come in. Dale Jr., Jimmy Spencer, Jeff Burton, Jimmy Johnson, and a few others, Marty.
Well, Dale Jr. not very happy with his car right now, Alan, and the car for Jr. is a little bit tight in and a little bit loose off, and that's a big problem for these guys. And he's going to change 4 tires. He got a wedge adjustment, and that will be the adjustment for Dale Earnhardt Jr. He is not very happy at all, Bill.
And Tony Stewart's going to make his way down pit road again. They've been fighting a tight condition on this race car, so nothing to lose here. Going to bring him in, try and free him up just a little bit. They got track bar adjustment, 1 round. And 4 tires, and then top off the fuel tank and send him back out. So when you're in the back of the pack, take advantage of everything you can. Jimmy Johnson was also on pit road. Tony's on his way.
You know, a lot of times the tight end loose off is because the car's tight all the way through the corner.
23 cars on the lead lap, 12 of them pitted under this caution, hoping those fresh tires will keep them off the road to nowhere. Mudhole qualifying and the NASCAR Busch Series race are both on Friday. And Saturday night, it's NASCAR Winston Cup action. The Monte Carlo 400 presented by the Looney Tunes. 7 o'clock Eastern time, starting with Discover Card Countdown to Green.
You got to look real close, BP, but there are 5 lug nuts there.
I know, but they only tied 3 of them.
They're going to get in trouble for that. They got 5.
You got 5 on there.
Trying to get the BP money. $12.99.
Yeah. I told them, if the lug nuts are loose, they don't get paid.
First car with tires is going to be Jimmy Johnson, restarting in 12th position. This could get interesting. Returning to TNT, Elton Brand and Team USA take on Russia in the World
Number 1 pick, did he do well?
3 for 5.
84 to 65 was the score, Benny.
3 for 5, I believe.
84
I watched the game closely.
Oh, good for you, Wally. I missed it.
Should we tell people that
You're not
getting
buying that, are you?
You know how to tell Wally's lying? His lips are moving.
Jeff Gordon's been very fast the second half of this race. How good is that car?
The car's been pretty good, you know, when it's out front. We were tied all day back there in traffic. Like I say, up front, we feel extremely good about it.
Okay, let's go to Matt.
And Bill Elliott looking to win another Southern 500. Mike Ford, your man was starting to close in on the 12. Does he have enough to get the 24 as well?
Well, we seem to be real good on the long run. There through the middle part of the race, we ran a bunch of short runs, and you know, we seem to fall back a little bit, but hopefully this thing will go green because we're good at the end of the run, and you know, I think we can get both of them.
Elliott restarts in 3rd, Dave.
May car called for a lot of changes on Bobby Labonte's car today. Jimmy, how good is the car for the stretch run?
Well, we've been working on it all day long. You know, we've been on and off, and we've been really fighting forward bites. So we made a pretty big tire pressure adjustment that last time. It made it better, but we got to run 20-25 laps before we see how bad it's going to be. So hopefully we've hit it here.
All right, we'll see if they have, Alan.
23 cars on the lead lap, 45 laps to go. The first one who took fresh tires on this caution, Jimmy Johnson in 12th and Tony Stewart in 13th.
Okay, Newman, you're going to have to get a better restart. Need to clear that car, Kenny Wallace. Going to get it done this time.
Looks like he's going to be able to do it, but now Bill Elliott is caught up behind Kenny Wallace.
Tense after restart over there. Elliott up under Kenny Wallace, not able to get past him. Here comes Bobby Labonte, working on Sterling Marlin.
All right, Bill Elliott now clears the lap car, and Bobby Labonte has been able to get by Sterling Marlin.
4th place. So the 2000 Southern 500 winner creeping very quietly close to the front. Kenny Wallace had his shot at getting his lap back. Now he's getting out of the way.
And Jeff Gordon right now is just a little bit faster than Ryan Newman.
These are the guys who took tires. Tires, excuse me.
Okay, we knew what you meant, Alan.
It's been a long weekend. Tony Stewart by Jimmy Johnson for 12th place. Maybe.
Tony Stewart on the outside has the momentum going for him and able to drive by Johnson.
Problem is, he is 6.5 seconds behind Jeff Gordon. 42 laps to go.
Yeah, I don't think that 10 laps is going to make that much of a difference. I don't think he can make up that much ground.
If it's just the space between Jeff Gordon and himself, he might be able to do something about it. But it's that 6 or 8 cars that he's got to drive by to get to him. Actually, it's 10 cars that he's got to drive by to get to him.
There's 13 laps difference in the tires between Tony Stewart and Jeff Gordon. Here's Elliott Sadler, 11th place car.
About to become a 12th place car, 13th place car, as both Stewart and Jimmy Johnson go by.
Dale Jarrett marching by Mark Martin for 7th place.
Tony Stewart gets another spot, going by Rusty Wallace, puts him in the top 10.
Next in front of him will be Kurt Busch for Stewart to try and catch. And there's Kurt. So he's got a little ground to go. Not missing anything up front. Leaders still the way they were. Watching Tony Stewart try and come through the traffic on the fresher tires and see if he can make up a little headway. There's the coach. Watching both of his drivers have a good day. Bobby's running 4th. Tony's running 10th. That'll make Monday morning meetings a little easier to take, won't it?
It sure will.
And Joe Gibbs has had to use all of his people skills to manage his teams this season. Tony Stewart's issues have been well documented, but for Bobby Labonte, the frustrations in that team there, he's had to really work with them to keep it all pointed in the right direction and get him back on track.
Tony's about 0.2 of a second quicker right now, BP, than the guys that are on the older tires, or 13-lap older tires, like Jeff Gordon.
Check in on Jeff. He's opened his advantage on Ryan Newman to better than a second. Bill Elliott running 2 seconds behind. Bobby Labonte 2.8.
And Ward Burton has moved into the 6th spot. All right, let's check the miles per hour at the line. Bill Elliott that time.
Get down to 10th, we may see a new number. Third quick.
Third quick. Dale Jarrett, 7th spot. 2nd quick, but Jeff Gordon, the fastest car at the start-finish line that lap.
Here comes Dale Jarrett, trying to chase down Ward Burton and see if he can pick off a spot.
You see Jarrett a little over 5 seconds behind Jeff Gordon. And they're running out of laps, just 35 to go.
Dave Jarrett's team has done a great job to overcome that problem. He's really driven the wheels off of that car to get it back up through there.
Now, Earnhardt Jr. doesn't look like he's capitalized on that last stop either. He's back at point first. He stopped along with Tony Stewart and Jimmy Johnson.
Yep. And the gap from 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Checking on back to this race for 6th. Here he comes.
You can hear Ward Burton just roll out of that gas. Give it to him. There's the wave. Thank you.
Dale Jarrett had problems on pit road at lap 235. He fell back to 21st at that point. Now he's up to 6th. Be one of those days where they come away wondering what might have been, and at the same time feeling pretty good about the recovery they did make, especially if they're able to get it into the top 5. Talk about the NASCAR Winston Cup Championship here in Darlington today. It's Sterling Marlin led a lot of laps. Matter of fact, he's led the most laps so far today. If Jeff Gordon leads the rest of them, he will overtake those bonus points from Sterling.
And Jeff Gordon just 96 back. Was he third going into the day, Jeff Gordon?
Yeah, he was third, and he was 111 back. Mark Martin was 95 back in second.
So Jeff has moved into second spot if they paid points right now, but obviously they don't. And Ryan Newman, he just cannot get away from Ryan Newman. And this young man is very, very hungry for a victory. Jeff Gordon talked about last week at Bristol how hungry he was for victory. Ryan Newman has never won a NASCAR Winston Cup event.
In his first Darlington appearance here in March, he qualified third. First Darlington Winston Cup appearance, qualified third, finished fifth. And that was after pulling out a backup car when they crashed in final practice in March. Today, he's been able to run one car all day, all weekend. Started 12th, led one lap, and is running in second.
What's going on with DJ?
Well, I just wanted to tell you how much Dale Jarrett would really love to win the Southern 500. He says he never has, but if you look at the official NASCAR Winston Cup 2002 media guide, it says right here in 1965 that Dale Jarrett won that race. That's pretty amazing because in 1965, Dale Jarrett was 8 years old. The truth is Dale Jarrett did go to victory lane that day because his father, Ned, the two-time Winston Cup champion, won that race. And Dale was thrilled to be in victory lane that day. Not just because Ned won by 14 laps, but because one of the best shows on TV at that time was Gunsmoke. And the actors that played Festus and Doc were in victory lane. And Jarrett got his picture taken with him. Probably got his picture taken with Ned, too. Dale Jarrett never won the Southern 500, but he'd like to today.
He has won here at Darlington 3 times in the spring race. Right now working on Sterling Marlin, 5th place.
And they're going to be 3 wide. Well, no. I thought they were going to be 3 wide.
Not here, BP.
No, that's not going to work. But Sterling goes by Bobby Labonte, takes that spot away. Here comes DJ. Dave, what's going on with Bobby Labonte right now?
Benny, he radioed in about 5 laps ago, said it's going away again. The car is going away.
Lost 4th, lost 5th, loses 6th. Ward Burton comes by. Kenny Wallace in the 23, not on the lead lap. He's back in 24th place.
But this is what that 23 team needed, a good run like this that Kenny Wallace is giving them, up competitive with those cars that win week in and week out. Letting these guys know, Felipe Lopez, the crew chief, and the guys know, hey, we've got a pretty good race car here as well.
Kenny to run that 23 for the rest of this season and has signed to run that car with the Stacker 2 sponsorship for the next couple of years for Will Davis. Jeff Gordon is out in front. 27 laps to go. Here's our last commercial break during Green Flag Racing. It's Robbie Lewis going to victory lane. Our AutoTrader.com move of the race. We put Wally in charge.
I'm picking the sun coming out, guys, for the first time all weekend.
Yeah.
Well, that's not bad.
I'm in agreement.
Everybody here is happy to see that.
Yeah. Who'd have thought, the way the weather was yesterday or today, that we'd have gotten either race in. So the sunshine gets our AutoTrader.com move of the race nod today. Something we actually all agreed on.
Good move there, Wally.
I'm telling you.
All right, Jeff Gordon slowly, ever so slowly, pulling away from Ryan Newman. 2 1/4 seconds.
20 laps to go in the Southern 500. Car doesn't feel very good right now.
Now, this is about the same spot. Tony Stewart was leading the 400 here in March, and this is about the time when coming off turn 2, a car spun in front of him, caused a big wreck. 5 or 6 cars involved.
Nobody's car feels good right now. I mean, they're all sliding. It's just Jeff's car happens to be sliding a little bit less than everybody else's, so he's probably feeling pretty good. As long as I'm sure his team is telling him over the headset, you know, you're leaving the 12 car, you're the fastest car on the racetrack, and that's something that I want to hear 20 laps to go.
EP, you talked about Tony Stewart back in the March race here.
About 20 laps to go. He's coming off turn 2. leading, driving away, and Buckshot Jones, the 44 car, lost control, spun in front of Tony, and he had nowhere to go, right in the side of it. And then Jimmy Spencer comes along, and Powell drives in front of the Home Depot car.
Tony spent the night in the hospital for that one. Hurt his back pretty good.
Had to get out of the car at Bristol the next race.
Tony's still fast. 32.1. The leader, Jeff Gordon, ran a 32.4 that last lap.
But 13 laps difference on the tires is not going to be enough to overcome the deficit.
Something's gone through the left front fender on Tony Stewart's car. Some piece of debris knocked a hole in it.
Maybe a bumper.
Could be. Last week, unbelievably, just the bumper somehow guard or whatever goes through the left front fender of Tony Stewart's car and cuts an oil line.
I think that's been there for a pretty good while. Tony running in 7th spot, 9 seconds behind the leader. We caught a glimpse of Sterling Marlin and Dale Jarrett racing for 4th and 5th. Headlight cover punched out. There are Marlin and Jarrett. Dale's been the fast mover here in the late going in terms of picking up spots. And the other side of the coin, Bobby the Body continues to slide back. After Dale Jarrett got around him and Sterling got around him, Bobby's fallen all the way back to 12th.
Dale was putting a lot of pressure on Sterling about 5 or 6 laps ago.
And then something happened because, oh, did he get the wall that time?
He keeps scrubbing off speed off a 2 there.
DJ didn't get in the wall. He did a very good job of scaring the wall to death.
Check our speeds at the line here to see who's fastest.
Bill Elliott, DJ, Ward Burton, Tony Stewart. Wow, we got to go all the way back to 6th, 7th, and 8th.
I told you Tony was quicker, but y'all didn't want to believe me.
Experience, you know. How about Sterling's car? He was so strong in the early part of the race. Now he's just kind of locked in there, 5th, 6th, 4th.
My guess is that it warmed up. When the sun came out, it warmed up just a little bit and hurt his setup. Be just a guess. I'm telling you, I had a car in Atlanta one day that was perfect as long as the sun was out. But when the sun went behind the cloud for 15 minutes, my car was too tight. I became uncompetitive. The sun come back out, I would be again the fastest car on the racetrack.
How did the day end up? Sunny
The
or
sun was
cloudy?
out, and I won the race.
There you go.
If the clouds had been out, I wouldn't have won.
86?
84.
84, okay. You won here before, BP, 1978.
I don't remember what kind of day it was, though.
Yeah.
It was a good day.
It was a good day, yeah.
Any day you take the trophy home is a good day. 1978 Rebel 500. These two guys are kind of fighting a draw right now. If he can hold it together for the final 12 laps, going to be a good point day for Sterling Marlin. Another race down toward that championship without losing any significant ground to his rivals.
Tony Stewart is a guy right now would just love to see a caution flag.
Yeah, you got that right.
Just love to see a caution
Would
flag.
that make it interesting?
Oh,
who
man.
hits, who doesn't? They're still wrinkling up some fenders here at Darlington. This was just a couple of moments ago.
Tony Raines and Todd Bodine. Wow.
Clear.
Clear. Yeah.
Because he flew over your roof.
They knocked it out of the way.
Todd had that early flat tire and then the spin. He's 7 laps down in 33rd place. All right, look at this. I set a record.
That is pretty strong. 23 cars around this tough old racetrack, still on the lead lap.
Well, there's time for Jeff Gordon to catch a few of them and put them a lap down.
Who's next? Bobby Hamilton?
Yeah, he's hit pretty good ways in front of Gordon. He's about half a straightaway. Yeah, it might be okay there. It's been a very competitive race. Through all the delays and all the waiting and all the uncertainty of the weekend, the cautions kind of have been evenly spaced out. and it's kept people in contention. We've only had a couple of really long green flag runs here.
And Martin just lost 2 more spots as Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Burton go by. Man, that's
all
tough.
important points.
Yeah, starting to say it's just tough to see 6 or 8 points go by the wayside with just 10 laps to go.
Martin back to 11th and 9th. Marlin runs 4th. Gordon leads. Johnson is 9th. Tony Stewart is 7th. Everybody in the championship fight having a pretty good day. Only one that's really been struggling is Ricky Rudd, who came in 7th in points, and he's running back in 30th place now, a couple of laps down. Tony Raines giving way to the leader.
I think the lap cars that come up now will just get out of the way. I don't think they'll, with less than 10 laps to go, there's no reason to not get out of the way. Steve Park just turned right down out of the way, let Newman go.
Even finishing second, what a great day for Ryan Newman. Obviously, he really has a knack for this racetrack.
He really does. I mean, this kid is the real deal. There's no doubt about it. Jimmy Johnson, his challenger for the Rookie of the Year, also the real deal.
It'll be Ryan Newman's 3rd runner-up finish of the season, if he's able to hang on in that spot. He was the runner-up at Richmond in May, Watkins Glen on the road course. That was a real surprise. And there'll be 5 to go next time for Jeff Gordon. Talk about a team that's made a turnaround. Here's a team who was struggling at the beginning of the season, not only not getting the on-track performance that they wanted, but having to deal with all the questions of what's wrong, what's going on. Brought a new teammate into the circuit this year, and it had to contribute to some of their struggles, getting the 48 car up and running, sharing space, sharing cars with them at the start of the season.
Never count them out, though. Not this team.
And, of course, the publicized things going on, and Jeff's away from the racetrack life.
He's about to break that streak we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, he's really on a streak now. This might be 2 in a row. Did I hear somebody say that he's done that 15 times in his career?
15 times he's run back-to-back.
He's led all but one Darlington race since the beginning of the 1995 season. He took the lead today for the first time at lap 240 after falling way back in the opening laps, struggling with his car's handling. He gathered it up, tuned it up, came back through the traffic, got some great pit stops from his team.
And obviously some great decisions by Robbie Loomis on what to do with the car to make those adjustments. And Brian Weitzel.
The driver's probably done a pretty good job too.
Yeah, tell them what to do, what the car was doing.
4 laps to go. Make it 3.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
That's the trophy.
Does yours look like that?
No. No, sure does.
Jeff Gordon looking to collect the 5th one of those.
Let's see if he can trade it in. Get an updated one.
Yeah, I'm on the spring race. Yeah, that's a problem.
People have been saying a lot that if Jeff Gordon could break through and get that first win this season, he might rip off a whole bunch of them.
He's well on his way. What, 2 more laps? Lap and a half.
A little bit of lap traffic ahead. The next one he'll catch is his teammate, Terry Labonte. So there won't be any problem there. And he's up by 2 seconds on Ryan Newman. 60,000 here in Darlington. All rise almost as one as the starter, Jimmy Howell, gets out the white flag. Final lap of the Mountain Dew Southern 500 for Jeff Gordon. Going to be a good day in his attempt to win yet another NASCAR Winston Cup championship. He will have led the most laps today and collect those extra bonus points in his attempt to overtake Sterling Marlin for the title. They got the breakthrough win with the bump and run at Bristol last Saturday night. There'll be no bump and run, but he'll have tamed Darlington Raceway for another time today. Jeff Gordon wins the Sutherland 500.
Here comes a grand battle between Tony Stewart and Kurt Busch, and it was Kurt Busch beat him off turn 4.
Pretty good. Start last.
All of the championship contenders today finished well, with the exception of Ricky Rudd, but it's 2-0.